Forward with Rico dependability. Hi, everybody, and a very pleasant Tuesday night to you, wherever you may be. Welcome to Dodger Stadium, Game 2 of the 3-game series between the Dodgers and the visiting Atlanta Braves. After spending 72 straight days in second place, last night the Dodgers moved into a tie with the Arizona Diamondbacks. However, the final score, the Diamondbacks 2 and the Washington Nationals nothing. Brandon Webb went 6 innings and won his 13th. So for the moment, the Dodgers are back into second place again, trailing the D-backs by a half. And of course, a Dodger victory, they'd be back to the tie. A Dodger loss, and they would fall 1 back. So for Joe Torre, the beginning of a seesaw moment that should figure right down to the wire, the very end of the season. And for the Atlanta Braves, still very much alive. They're 6 games behind the Philadelphia Phillies. For the Braves, Gregor Blanco will be in left field, Yunel Escobar at short, Chipper Jones will be at third, Mark Teixeira at first base, Brian McCann behind the plate. Jeff Francoeur, Frenchie as they call him, is back from Mississippi AA. He's in right field. Kelly Johnson at second base. M.Kotsay is in center field. And J.R. Jurgens on the mound. Better for the Braves, they call him JJ. On the mound for the Dodgers, Chad Billingsley, 8-7, but he has a 4-game winning streak and a brilliant earned run average of 3.1. Last time out, Billingsley went 8 innings, allowed no earned runs in going up against Houston, made only 92 pitches, so he was really overpowering. He's worked at least 7 innings on 7 occasions. Against Atlanta, 0-1. He lost to Atlanta on the 19th of April at Turner Field, allowing 4 runs and 6 hits. He has vastly improved, however, since the 19th of April. So Chad Billingsley getting ready, and it'll be Gregor Blanco followed by Yunel Escobar and then Chipper Jones as the Dodgers and the Braves pick up for the second game of the series, and still alive in the glow of Hiroki Kuroda's magnificent one-hitter last night. And for Kuroda, he will be watching the man who broke it up last night, and that would be Mark Teixeira, who is hitting 4th in the Atlanta lineup. So now Billingsley ready, in the first pitch to Blanco is taken for a strike, and the count 0-1. Gregor Blanco hitting .295 in his last 24 games, so he's on an upswing, and his average at .266. The 1-0 pitch is hit in the air to right center field. Moving over is Andruw Jones to catch it almost casually, and just like that, 1 away. Good chance to set the Dodgers defensively with the leather. James Loney and Jeff Kent, Nomar Garciaparra and Blake DeWitt. The outfield of Andre Ethier, Andruw Jones and Matt Kemp, and the battery Billingsley and Martin. Blake DeWitt, a brilliant play. You couldn't stress the word more importantly than the fielding play he made on Blanco in the 7th inning last night to preserve the perfect game, at least for a while. A broken bat, ground ball to Jeff Kent, who makes the play. So Escobar has one shatter, and the most dangerous part of that bat went sailing into the stands, and fortunately did not come close to anybody. So before we could tell you about Yunel defecting from Cuba, he breaks his bat and he's done, and we have 2 down in the first inning. For the Braves, they are struggling with the bat. In fact, when you talk to Bobby Cox, he'll say if they would just hit. They are 5-21 in 1-run games. The pitch to Chipper Jones off the plate, ball 1. Not only that, they've lost 23 1-run games on the road starting in August of last year. The 1-0 pitch on the way, Chipper takes a strike, and the count 1-1. Jones, a remarkable hitter, hitting .384, went 0 for 3 last night. So far this year, he is 6 for 14 with 2 home runs against the Dodgers. Takes in on the knuckles and a 2-ball, 1-strike count. So Chipper Jones, a fixture at third base, switch hitter, batting left-handed, 18 home runs, 50 runs batted in. Billingsley into the windup. Chad back and drops a breaking ball in for a strike, and the count 2-2. On deck is M.Teixeira, who broke up the perfect game last night with that line drive double to right. Here's the 2-2 pitch on the way. Fastball, and that's low. Looked like Billingsley overthrew on that pitch. Even though it got up there at 92, it looked like he was going to fall off the mound, really hurtling, and actually his gloved hand touched the dirt, trying to keep his balance. 3-2 the count to Chipper Jones. Billingsley comes back, and it is outside, ball 4. So with 2 down, the walk to Chipper Jones, and M.Teixeira coming up. Last night was Navy night, and as Hiroki Kuroda looks at the man who took the perfecto away from him, it was only appropriate, I guess, in many ways, that M.Teixeira would break up the perfect game. He was born in Annapolis, Maryland, and he promptly, it's a chopper to Loney who takes it to the bag, and that's that. So Teixeira, the son of a former Navy pilot, was certainly mixed up on Navy night last night, and at the end of half an inning, no score.
The Los Angeles Dodgers. For 50 years, the perfect combination of 21 pennants and 6 world championships. Celebrate this anniversary year with a Miller Lite, the perfect combination of taste and refreshment. Collect a Dodger Greats poster and save up to $80 on single-game Dodgers tickets when you pick up these specially marked packages of Miller Lite. And be sure to look for these custom Dodger Greats bottles and cans. Your Los Angeles Dodgers and Miller Lite. Just one more perfect combination. Miller Lite, the ultimate light beer.
What your engine feels, you feel. And when it's running clean, you feel it. Which is why we developed full synthetic Pennzoil Platinum with active cleansing agents to clean out up to 46% of sludge in the first oil change. That's 3 times better than the leading conventional oil. Pennzoil Platinum Motor Oil. Our ultimate clean for your ultimate feeling. Not just oil, Pennzoil.
Where we come from, high gas prices are nothing new. Perhaps that's why BMW offers more vehicles that average at least 28 miles per gallon than any other luxury automaker. BMW, the ultimate driving machine. What makes BMW an unrivaled value? Find out at SoCalBMW.com.
Chad Billingsley made 10 pitches to retire the side in the first inning. 6 of those 10 pitches were to Chipper Jones, so the other 4 took care of the 3 outs. And a reminder, he walked Chipper Jones. Kuroda not only did not walk a batter, he also never went to a 3-ball count last night. Here's the Dodger lineup, and no dramatic changes with Matt Kemp and Andre Ethier and Russell Martin. Jeff Kent hits cleanup, followed by James Loney, and then the center fielder, Andrew Jones. Nomar Garciaparra, whose second home run of the year last night, won it for the Dodgers. Blake DeWitt is at third. Chad Billingsley on the mound. On the mound, Jair Jurgens, that's his name, born in Curaçao, the same area of the Netherlands Antilles that produced Andrew Jones, and he'll be pitching to Matt Kemp. 23-year-old right-hander comes with the first one, and it's swung on and missed, and the count 0-1. In fact, check me on that, he's only 22. Originally signed by the Tigers, right-hander is 6'1", but only 165. Into the windup, and the strike one pitch on the way. Fastball lifted, foul off first and out of play, and the count 0-2 to Matt Kemp. Kemp hitting .283. He has 7 home runs, 46 runs batted in. Matt had a base hit last night to drive in DeWitt in the 5th inning and went 1 for 4. Jurgens, and the boys call him JJ, and that certainly figures. The strike 2 pitch is a fastball low, ball 1. His first name is spelled J-A-I-R, and you pronounce it Jair, and then Jurgens, Jurrrgens, so you can understand the JJ. It comes out a lot easier. Here's the 1-2 pitch on the way to Matt Kemp, and it's a breaking ball in the dirt, and the count 2-2. For Jurgens, He is the first player from Curacao to ever pitch in the major leagues. He's got a good fastball, change, slider, and the fastball has a lot of sink to it as well. Peering over the fingertips of a big glove, and his 2-2 pitch is taken just low, ball 3, 3-2. Jurgens comes in with a record of 8-4 and strikeout to walks 2-1. He speaks several languages. The first one, Papiamento, the language of Curacao. The 3-2 pitch is swung on and missed, and down goes Kemp. So in any language, a strikeout, one away, and the batter Andre Ethier. Jurgens keeping the ball down below the strike zone, so Kemp went after it and was fooled. Jurgens speaking Papiamento, which is a Creole language of Curacao. He also speaks English, Spanish, and Dutch, and they say his Spanish is good enough. He has served as a translator for some of his Latin teammates during his minor league career. Andre Ethier at the plate. Jurgens' first pitch is low, ball 1, 1-0. Andre, a red-hot hitter, has his average up to 284, 10 home runs, 39 runs batted in. No score, bottom of the first inning, 1 out. Ethier waiting, and Jurgens back with a good fastball for a strike. Andre cooled off last night, going 0 for 3. He had hit safely in 7 straight. Was hitting .357 during that streak. The 1-1 pitch, Jurgens looks in, getting a sign from McCann. Now J.J. ready, and the 1-1 pitch on the way, off the plate, ball 2, 2-1 the count. You notice a necklace around the neck of J.J. To tell you about it, he has quite a collection. Right-hander ready, and the 2-1 pitch coming up. Ethier holds up, and it's off the plate, ball 3. One of his necklaces is made of seashells from the beaches of the island nation where he grew up. His sister gave it to him as a good luck charm. He usually wears that one or others from his collection. So here's the 3-1 pitch on the way. Fastball is low, ball 4. So Kemp strikes out, Ethier walks, and the batter will be Russell Martin. Russell Martin checking in at the plate.
Russell Martin.
Martin went 0 for 4 last night. Named to his second All-Star game. Last 3 games he's been struggling. 1 for 11. And in the last 6 games, just 4 for 24. Still hitting .301. And Jurgens delivers good fastball thrown right by him. 0-1 the count. His fastball, Jurgens' fastball, occasionally has been clocked as high as 96. That's the 4-seamer. Then he has the 2-seamer. That's the sinker. And a very good changeup. 0-1 the count to Martin. A look over at Ethier, back to Russ, and it's off the plate. And a 1-ball, 1-strike count. Game 2 of the 3-game series. Tomorrow night, the concluding game will pit Derek Lowe against Tim Hudson. 1-1 the count. Out of a stretch goes Jurgens, looks over his left shoulder and turns and throws over there. Ethier back on the bag. Andre Ethier is not a great base stealing threat. 2 out of 4. Bobby Cox watching, perhaps even flashing out signs. The 1-1 pitch coming up. And there goes Ethier, and the pitch is a perfect base hit into right center with the second baseman Kelly Johnson breaking to cover second base. Martin singles to drive Ethier to third. Boy, when you pull off a successful hit and run play, it's a beautiful thing to see. With a right-hand hitter up, the second baseman's going to cover, and the ball was hit right into his footprints, right where Kelly Johnson had been. So just like that, the Dodgers now first and third. 1 away, and Jeff Kent coming up. One of the things that was kind of lost in the excitement of last night, with Hiroki Kuroda pitching the 1-hitter and certainly a threat for a perfect game. You know, there have now been 6 consecutive home games at Dodger Stadium where one of the teams have been shut out. 6 in a row. It's happened a couple of times, but it does tie a major league record. Out of a stretch goes Jurgens. Dodgers at first and third. One out. Kent, big swing foul. And the count 0-1. Jeff hitting .263. 9 home runs. 39 runs batted in. Dodgers managed to get just 1 run against Jurgens in Georgia. He went 7 innings and limited the Dodgers to 3 hits. In that game, he walked 3, and he worked hard. He made 114 pitches. Strike 1 pitch, Kent, a hard ground ball to Johnson, the quick feed to Escobar, and there's the doubleheader and the double play thanks to the sprawling catch by M.Teixeira at first base. So Jeff Kent hits it into the double play. The Dodgers avoided it, playing hit and run, and at the end of an inning, no score.
I may bleed Dodger blue, but I also say go green. Bigelow green tea, that is. It's been my green tea of choice for years.
Let the drummer kick, the drummer kick die. Let the drummer
This isn't the soft kind of luxury.
let the drummer kick, let the drummer
This is start a business, sell it, and then start another one luxury. This is advanced digital IV tech luxury. It can find you an uncrowded highway or a crowded club. Introducing the Acura TSX. A new generation has arrived. Acura. Advance.
Before the race, behind the scenes, be in the middle of it all. NASCAR on speed. Are you ready to be there? See it, feel it, live it. Nobody covers NASCAR like NASCAR on speed. NASCAR on speed. Be there.
Catch Dodgers live after the game on FSM Prime Ticket.
No score, second inning. For those of you watching on television, we're going to show you Escobar hurtling Russell Martin, but watch the way he drops his arm slot, and by throwing almost sidearm, that makes the runner hit the dirt and hit early. I'll never forget Don Zimmer. Vic Power was a notorious hard base runner, and Zimmer hit him right between the eyes because he wasn't in a slide. So all you have to do is drop the arm a little bit, and that runner's going to hit the dirt. Meanwhile, B.McCann will start it off. Brian, an all-star catcher, had a scholarship to the University of Alabama, but the Braves convinced him to turn pro. A terrific young player, only 24 years old, hitting .290, 15 home runs, 48 runs batted in, and takes a strike. 0-2 the count to Brian, who went 0 for 3 last night. You know, 3 years ago, he became the first player in Braves history to hit a home run in his first postseason at-bat. He takes high, and, of all people, he did it against Roger Clemens. B.McCann out of Athens, Georgia, so he's a local boy, 6'3", 210. Athens, the home of the University of Georgia. The 1-2 pitch is in there, strike 3 call. So McCann has a look, strikes out, and Billingsley picks up strikeout number 1. Fastball right at the knees and right down the pipe. So McCann is caught looking, and we have 1 away. Billingsley will now concentrate on Frenchie, as they call him, Jeff Francoeur. Francoeur struggling, hitting only .234, and was suddenly dropped to Double-A. He takes a pitch off the plate, ball 1. 6'4", 220, born in Atlanta. Went to Parkview High School in Georgia and takes off the plate, ball 2. He was considered one of the best football safeties in the country in high school, second-team All-American, and recruited heavily by Clemson. The 2-0 pitch to Jeff is taken for a strike. and the count 2-1. Frank Coeur, only 24 years old, coming up to the Braves 3 years ago. He hit 300. Now the 2-1 pitch on the way is a one-hopper at Jeff Kent. He short hops it nicely and throws him out. So 2 down in the second inning, and the batter will be Kelly Johnson. So Kelly, who was burned on that great hit-and-run play by Russell Martin, held his ground the next time and started the double play on the ball hit by Jeff Kent. Johnson hitting .274, 8 home runs, 37 runs batted in, and Kelly takes a strike. 0-1 the count. Out of Westwood High School in Austin, Texas. Last year, first year with the Braves, he had 16 home runs, 68 runs batted in. He takes outside. So right now he has 8 home runs, 37 RBIs. He played about 86 games in the outfield for Atlanta, and they finally convinced he'd be better off at second base, and he's done a fine job there. The 1-1 pitch, Kelly pulls one back at first, fielded by Loney, takes it to the bag, and that's that. 1-2-3 at the end of an inning and a half. No score.
This July at Pechanga Resort and Casino, you can earn 3 times points every Wednesday by playing your favorite games while using your club card. Not a member yet? Join the club today and start earning 3 times points every Wednesday in July at Pechanga Resort and Casino. See Club Pechanga booth for complete details.
Find a full day of entertainment all in one place. Universal Studios Hollywood, the entertainment capital of LA. Check out the all-new Simpsons ride, now open. And for a limited time, adults get in at kids.
Jim, the voice of Lexus, to tell you about the IS.
Treat yourself to a ride in the IS, and you will be enveloped. Whoa. Treat you with its sumptuous exterior. Perforated leather, including a leather trim shift knob. A leather shift knob.
No score, bottom of the second. You know, prior to the game tonight, National Hero and Navy Petty Officer First Class, United States Navy SEAL, Marcus Luttrell was honored throughout the ceremonial first pitch. He received the Navy Cross Purple Heart for his military service, part of Operation Red Wing in Afghanistan. He and 3 other SEALs in a firefight for over 3 hours. The other 3 were killed. He was severely wounded, crawled his way for miles, and was eventually saved, rehabbed, and wouldn't you know, he then volunteered to go to Iraq. So we are honored to have him here with us tonight for sure, a real hero. We throw that word around a lot during sports events, but we have a real one here tonight. Loney fouls one away after taking a strike, and the count 0-2 to James, hitting .300. He has 7 home runs, 47 runs batted in. So it's Loney, followed by Jones, followed by Garcia-Parra against J.J. And the right-hander over the top, another good fastball fouled away, and it's still 0-2 to Loney. Jurgens hitting .93 on the gun. So the young fella from Curaçao, it'll be interesting when he faces Andrew Jones. I mean, Curaçao in the Netherlands Antilles to produce 2 major leaguers, and they're going to face each other in a moment. Here's the strike 2 pitch coming up to James Loney, and it swung on, another broken bat. Ground ball to Kelly Johnson that throws him out. Boy, it is really a mess. So 1 away. We used to talk about broken bats in the old days. We borrowed the title of a song, Celery Stalks at Midnight, but it was rarely used. My gosh, in this day and age, they're all celery stalks. So 1 away. Mr. Jones, Mr. Jurgens, Mr. Jurgens, Mr. Jones, as Andrew checks in. So one kid from Curaçao against the other. Of course, it's been a while since Andrew was a kid when he first broke into the World Series at 19. Jurgens delivers. Hard slider down and away. Ball 1. 1-0 the count. You wonder if Jurgens will give Jones a fastball at all, except to show it to him. 1-0 pitch on the way. Fastball and at the knees for a strike, and the count 1-1. Jones last night grounded to short, popped up, and walked. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Jurgens into the windup. Right-hander comes right back, drops it in there nicely, and he's out in front on Andrew. 1 ball and 2 strikes. One of the things Bobby Cox talked about Jurgens, saying he may be very young, but he's very smart. Here's the 1-2 pitch on the way. A shot off the glove of Jurgens. He's chasing it. His throw to first is a wild throw. Andrew Jones gets back to first base with half a slide. Started to slide back because he was afraid he might have turned, and B.McCann was right there to handle the throw if he had. So we told you that was a pretty big glove that Jurgens has, but he still couldn't hold on to that ball. A hopper right off the glove, and it will go as a base hit.
Number 5, Nomar Garcia.
So Jones gets a single, and the batter will be Nomar Garciaparra. If anything, a little bit of a surprise that Jurgens threw more fastballs than sliders to Jones. He only threw him 1. So with 1 out, no score, here is Nomar. He got a breaking ball up, and he hit it into the Dodger bullpen. Nice catch by Delwyn Young last night. Nomar has a look at a fastball strike, and the count 0-1. Nomar hitting .268, 2 home runs, 9 runs batted in. You may remember, before coming back in the San Francisco series, he had only played 9 games. Fouls the next pitch off, and the count 0-2. So Nomar Garciaparra back and playing shortstop. Dodgers hoping, although they know he is not going to be able to play every day, nor are they willing to risk him playing every day. Strike 2 pitches instead, a throw to first. Andrew Jones steps back on the bag, held on by Teixeira. 0-2 to Nomar. Interesting on this date how many he put in last year, 121 games. He takes off the plate. 1-2 the count to Nomar. And for Garciaparra this year, 14th game. Waiting on deck, hitting back of him, Blake DeWitt. Out of a stretch goes Jurgens. Another look over at Andrew Jones. A pitch to Nomar, hit foul off first, out of play. Hit that off the very end of the bat. Just did get a little bit of the breaking ball. And the count remains 1-2. Garciaparra, 2 home runs, 9 runs batted in. 1 out in the second, no score. Jurgens ready. And the right-hander delivers, waved at and missed, and down he goes. Slider got him. That was kind of the pitching you would expect he would have given Andrew Jones. So he strikes out Garciaparra with the breaking ball, and the batter now will be Blake DeWitt. Jones at first, and for Jurgens, that would be his 2nd strikeout. As far as being a strikeout pitcher is concerned, that would not really be his style. He did strike out 8 against the Dodgers back in April, and that would be his high. And the pitch to Blake DeWitt is low, ball 1, 1-0. DeWitt made a remarkable play last night on that bunt by Blanco in the 7th inning. But of course, Blake's been playing so well and making remarkable plays all year. The 1-0 pitch on the way. DeWitt takes off the plate, ball 2. Blake last night was 3 for 3, all singles. Another thing, you realize that the Braves had 1 hit last night, and the Dodgers totaled 5 hits. 2-0 pitch is low. So that meant of the 6 hits in the game, DeWitt had 3, and the other 2 teams had a total of 3. So 3-0 the count with the pitcher up next. Jurgens perhaps pitching around DeWitt a little bit. No score, throw to first. Andrew Jones jumps back on the bag. Jones, of course, with the bad knee, didn't do any running at all. Now coming back from surgery, you don't expect him to. Nevertheless, Teixeira holding the bag, and the 3-0 pitch, and DeWitt takes up around his head for ball 4. So 2 strikeouts and now 2 walks, and Chad Billingsley will be coming up. Billingsley with the bat has had 31 at-bats. He does have 2 singles, 1 run batted in. He has struck out 19 times. So Chad checking in, 2 on, 2 out, 2nd inning, no score. Out of a stretch goes Jurgens, looks at the runners, comes to Billingsley, starts him low and away. Ball 1, 1-0. The Dodgers have been playing well, 2 straight. They've won 8 of 11, but they've led 10 straight games decided by 3 runs or less. The 1-0 pitch swung on and fouled away, and the count 1-1. And of course, last night followed the similar pattern. They won 3-0. So Torrey's been cutting them a little closer than he'd like, but so far he's cutting them where he's on the right side. 1-1 the count to Chad Billingsley. Out of a stretch goes Jurgens, checks the runners, and with 2 out, back with a fastball in there. 1-2 the count. Move that fastball up to about 96. So he is 6'1", 165, 170 tops, and can throw hard. The 1-2 pitch, J.J. delivers, and it pops out of the mid of McCann, not far enough for the runners to take advantage of it. Looked like a breaking ball that didn't have much break, and it just popped right out of McCann's glove. Off speed, he was going to one-hand it, and it spun away. So 2-2 the count. McCann, along with Russell Martin and Giovanni Soto, will be the catchers in the All-Star game. 2-2 pitch, and Billingsley takes high, ball 3. So Jurgens now in trouble. Gave up the single to Andrew Jones with 2 out, walked DeWitt on 4 pitches, and now goes 3-2 with Matt Kemp waiting on deck. Jurgens out of a stretch. Runners ready to go. And the 3-2 pitch is swung on, a chopper up the middle. Kelly Johnson up with it, throws back in the dirt. Nice play by Teixeira. So Jurgens is out of the trouble, although it came close for Billingsley to bang it up the middle. No runs, a hit, 2 left. The end of 2, no score.
Wiener Schnitzel, the world's most wanted wiener.
Celebrate value with the 3-for-3 deal. An original chili dog, mustard dog, and corn dog in any combination you want. Just $3.
We have visual contact.
Go, go, go! Make way for the pig.
Howdy, partners!
Climb aboard.
Carnivores versus pork bellies?
You're on, old school.
Your mission, get there. The all-new attraction, Toy Story Mania. It's 4D.
4D?
Which is one better than 3D. Now open at the Disneyland Resort. Take aim and ride with a park hopper ticket.
Dave's house for a week. With his cousin Alex.
I hope he's cool.
Hi, I'm Alex.
Why, hello, Alex.
You can never have too much good stuff. AM, PM, too much good stuff. Get the new bigger double cheeseburger, just $1.59.
This is the all-new Toyota Corolla. They made it look like $1 million. The gas mileage is perfect. I average about 35 miles to the gallon. It feels great.
And now you can lease a new 35 MPG 09 Corolla for just $179 a month for 36 months. Only $179 a month. Get zero financing on a new 09 Matrix with its 32 MPG.
I really got a good deal on my Toyota.
Get your MPG at your Southern California Toyota dealer today. Catch Dodgers live after the game on FSM Prime Ticket.
No score, 3rd inning, and we're all still looking back to last night. The remarkable performance of Hiroki Kuroda. Struck out Blanco, got a couple, wound up with a half a dozen strikeouts, and finally the one-hitter, Mark Teixeira, a clean double into the right field corner, and he accepted the plaudits of the crowd, and we will certainly live on that one for quite a while. Hiroki Kuroda, his finest hour. Now we go to the third. M.Kotsay will start it off. He'll be followed by Jurgens and then Blanco. It was in March of '07 when Kotsay had back surgery to repair a herniated disc, and that's been bothering him on and off for a couple of years. Mark takes outside, ball one. He was born in Whittier, lives in San Diego, went to school at Cal State Fullerton, set all kinds of College World Series records at Cal State, takes the strike, and the count 1-1. He is the son of a retired police officer, a motorcycle patrolman for the LAPD for many years. The 1-1 pitch is swung on, pull foul outside of first, and the count 1-2. Kotsay, back about 99, added some weight, and he's now a good size, a solid 6 foot, 205 pounder. So Mark waiting, 1 ball and 2 strikes. First came up to the Marlins in 1997 and fouls it back. He went from the Marlins to the Padres, then to the Oakland A's, and finally with the Atlanta Braves. When he was a little guy, he was about 6 years old, he was the #1 ranked BMX rider. He stopped racing because he was missing too much school. He checks up on a pitch in the dirt, and the third base umpire, Paul Emmel, says, "Nope, you didn't check up." So Kotsay strikes out, strikeout number 2 for Chad Billingsley. You know, a reminder, Saturday night, spectacular fireworks set to the music of the 80s after the Dodgers play the Marlins at 7:10. The show presented by the Auto Club of Southern California. For tickets, call 866-DODGERS or visit Dodgers.com. And here's Jurgens, who bunts in the air foul over the backstop screen into the crowd. 0-1 the count. Jurgens with the bat has 4 hits and has only struck out about 25% of the time. For a pitcher, that's good. Strike 1 pitch, swung on and fouled away, and the count 0-2. No score in the ball game, top of the third. Now Billingsley comes right back, 0-2, and it is swung on and missed, and down goes Jurgens. 2 in a row for Billingsley, 3 strikeouts in the game for Chad. And with 2 down, Gregor Blanco will be coming up. In looking at Billingsley's work this year, the one game that really jumps out at you, interestingly enough, was a game he lost back against Arizona in April when he struck out 12. He's also struck out 9 a couple of times. So Chad ready to work now on Blanco, and the right-hander ready to deliver to the left-hand hitter, and it's in for a strike, and the count 0-1. Gregor Blanco. Sounds like you would expect him perhaps to be from Russia. He's from Caracas, Venezuela. And he takes 1 ball and he has 1 strike. A very good center fielder, but they have one in Kotsay. So Blanco is playing left field for the Braves. This is his first year, hitting .264, and he takes high and away. He's left-handed all the way, and a very good arm. So Blanco with 2 down, bases empty in the third. Shortening up is DeWitt, looking bunt, remember last night, and the pitch to Blanco is low. In the 7th inning last night, Blanco laid down what you thought surely was a base hit, a bunt single, and instead DeWitt made a remarkable play to get him. 3-1 pitch in there for a strike, 3-2. Steve Garvey once broke up a no-hitter. Padres' Bob Ochinko back in 1977 had a no-hitter, and Garvey broke it up with a bunt single. There's ball 4 to Blanco. Here's that play last night that DeWitt made, and at the time it was preserving the perfecto, and it was brilliant. DeWitt made the play, and he barely saw it because he wound up face down in the dirt, and a remarkable play indeed by Blake DeWitt. Then Baroa made an unbelievable play in the 9th inning. In fact, if Baroa had made that play, to hold on to the no-hitter. They'd have been talking it out for 100 years about the plays by DeWitt and Baroa. They were really something to see. Throw over to first. Blanco back to the bag. Gregor runs well. He has stolen 8 out of 9. And you have Yunel Escobar at the plate. Escobar, a very good player, and also brings quite a story into the major leagues. Throw to first, tag, and the ball gets away. And let's see if Blanco's all right. Blanco might have been hit by the pickoff throw and slowly gets up and rubbing right above the belt on the right side. So that's what happened. He got nailed. As he goes diving back, the throw to Loney, and the ball goes off Loney's glove and hits the diving Blanco. Well, he's up and takes his lead and might be going. So Billingsley really has to watch him. Escobar waiting at the plate. Billingsley out of his stretch. Another cautious look, a bluff at first, and the pitch a strike, and the count 0-1. Yunel Escobar, along with 5 other young Cuban ball players and 25 other people, men, women, and infants, in a 25-foot boat, 8 to 10-foot waves, for 2 days in that little boat out of Cuba, and surrounded by sharks all the way. Always worrying about it tipping over. Pitch down and away, and a nice save by Russell Martin. Escobar had a buddy 4 years older, a catcher named Pena, and they were the closest pals, and they came over 4 years apart. Well, Pena made the club for a little while. His name is Brayan, B-R-A-Y-A-N, Pena, but he's in the minors. The 1-1 pitch on the way to Escobar, and he takes low. A throw down to first. Blanco diving back safely, and a 2-1 count. So Martin taking a shot. It's not quite as a surprise when there's a right-hand hitter up, but they're letting Blanco know they're aware of his base running prowess, and now Martin going out to talk to Billingsley. Yunel Escobar is 6'2", 200 pounds, born in Havana, Cuba, and he will be 26 in November. But what a ride for a kid. One of the bad habits, I guess you could call it a bad habit, he constantly whistled 2 years ago when they first had him in the organization. 2-1 pitch, Escobar takes a strike. And after a while, I guess it was like chalk on a blackboard. His teammates became irritated. Frenchie, Jeff Francoeur, said it got to bothering him, and he was in right field. But it was youthful enthusiasm at its finest. 2-2 the count. Out of his stretch goes Billingsley. And the 2-2 pitch, Blanco goes. The pitch outside. The throw is outside of second base. It's into shallow center field, and Blanco gets up and moves over. So he was a definite threat to go, and he did. He has now stolen 9 out of 10 and takes third on the throwing error charged to Russell Martin. So Blanco into third, 3-2 the count to Yunel Escobar. And this is a very big at-bat for Escobar now, because on deck is Chipper Jones. So 3-2 to young Escobar, and the pitch to him is fouled away. When that little boat finally arrived in Miami and Escobar was in the United States, the Braves picked him in the second round back in 2005. That was the 75th overall selection. They signed him for $475,000. 3-2 pitch coming up, and he takes strike 3 called. So Escobar is caught looking a huge at-bat, because now Jones comes up with the bases empty in the 4th. And at the end of 2.5, no score.
Introducing the new value menu at KFC. Snackers, sandwiches, popcorn chicken, and more, starting at just 99 cents. The food you love at a price you'll love even more. Life tastes better with KFC.
Liking people just for their looks is bad. Unless you're the one looking good. Unleash your hotness with an awesome cut from Super Cuts. What you got cooking? Stylish cuts, only at Super Cuts, every time. You know who's got a big mouth? Your hair. Make it stop blurting out your age. In just 10 minutes, Super Cut Super Color darkens grays discreetly. Ooh, well, who's this handsome young man? Super Color, only at Super Cuts, every time.
Hey, how can I help you?
So you're the guys with all the free stuff.
Yep, the WAMU free checking account comes with free ATM cash withdrawals, free checks for life, free outgoing wire transfers.
Score.
And free ID theft services.
I love this bank. Yeah, I'm gonna do it.
WAMU free checking. We don't nickel and dime you.
Woohoo!
A lot.
For a little. The Nissan Versa, 33 miles per gallon and the largest interior volume in its class.
Bottom of the third, no score in the ball game. We have some birthdays in the Dodger family. For instance, Dodger catcher Danny Ardwa celebrating his 34th birthday today. Minor league pitching coach George Culver, and two of our ladies in the front office, Michelle Lynch and Megan Donovan. So bottom of the third, Matt Kemp takes the first pitch for ball one. No score. Dodgers with 2 hits. Martin a hit-and-run single in the first. Jones a single off Jurgen's glove in the second. JJ into the windup in the 1-0 pitch, and that's a high strike just above the belt. 1 ball and 1 strike the count. Jurgens trying to win his 9th. He came in 8-4 and 1-0 against the Dodgers. The 1-1 pitch on the way, pulled foul outside of third and down the line. Jair Jurgens. Last 4 starts, earned run average of 1.2. That really gets your attention. Matt Kemp waiting. Jurgens ready. And the 1-2 pitch on the way. Slider off the plate. And the count 2-2. So Kemp, Ethier, and Martin trying to get something going on a beautiful evening. 72 degrees at the start of the game. Now the 2-2 pitch coming up. Swung on and fouled away. Lights have not really taken effect yet at sunset time. Off to the left, you can see the underbelly of the clouds highlighted by the sun. Beautiful time of evening, except maybe if you're trying to hit a 93-mile-an-hour fastball. 2-2 pitch coming up. Jurgens ready, delivers. There's that fastball, swung on and missed, and it was 94. Pardon me. So down goes Matt Kemp a second time. Third strikeout for Jurgens. And Billingsley has struck out 4. So Andre Ethier coming up. He checks in. He walked in the first inning. Jurgens 2-1, strikeouts to walks. Ethier batting .284, 10 home runs, 39 runs batted in, waves at a fastball and doesn't get it, and the count 0-1. Andre last year had a very torrid 400 in the month of July. Strike 1 pitch on the way, and the left-hand hitter fouls it off. 0-2. Big trade in the National and American Leagues today involving the Cubs and the Oakland A's. The Cubs acquired Rick Harden from the Oakland A's in a 6-player deal right after the rival Brewers landed CC Sabathia. No balls and 2 strikes the count, and the pitch to Ethier is outside. In talking to Bobby Cox before the game, Bobby was saying, I have seen 2 great pitch games this year. One by Kuroda last night, and the other by Rick Harden. And if Rich Harden pitched a gem to impress Cox, he has to be a pretty good pitcher. And Bobby said that Harden is better than Kuroda. Well, the big problem with Harden is keeping him healthy. He has been on the DL 6 times in his 6-year career. But when he is healthy, Cox rates him very high. 2-2 pitch, and that's low ball 3-2. So the Cubs and the Brewers, 90 miles apart or thereabouts, and they each come up with a big-name pitcher. Jair Jurgens working on Ethier, 1 out in the 3rd, no score. Right-hander ready, and the 3-2 pitch to Andre Ethier is high, so he's walked him again. That is the 3rd walk given up by Jurgens. You know, Friday at 7:40, Dodgers and Marlins. All kids 14 and under at the game receive a voucher that'll get them into Universal Studios Hollywood free with a paid adult ticket. To double your fun, visit Dodgers.com or call 866-DODGERS. Well, they put a hit-and-run play on. Andre Ethier at first, Russell Martin at the plate, and it was executed perfectly in the 1st inning. So let's see if they try it again. Martin takes a strike, and the count 0-1. So Ethier, who is not known for stolen bases, he's 2 out of 4. But every time Martin comes up in this kind of a spot, you're always thinking hit and run. One reason, Martin has only struck out 43 times. Jurgens off the rubber, throws to first. Ethier back, standing up. So 1 out, bottom of the 3rd, no score. And we'll see if Torrey puts that hit and run play on again. Jurgens out of his stretch. Looks over at Ethier, turns, throws over there, trying to take a step away from him. Teixeira holding a corner. 0-1 the count. Jurgens again ready, and the pitch is swung on and fouled back, and the count 0 balls and 2 strikes. Well, you don't figure to put any kind of a play on 0-2, even with a hitter like Martin. But then again, you can file it under you never know. For Martin, in looking at his work so far, well over 300 plate appearances, maybe closer to 360, and he has only struck out, as we said, 43 times. 0 balls, 2 strikes. Ethier poised at first and goes. They put it on, and there's a fly ball to right field, right to Francoeur, who throws to first, and they double up Ethier trying to get back. So the Dodgers on a 0 ball, 2 strike count played hit and run, and Francoeur nails Ethier getting back to the bag. Brilliant play by Frenchie, and at the end of 3, no score.
It's time to party. Are you sure you're okay with this?
When you give yourself a minute to think, you give yourself a chance to make a better decision. Fox.com/pause.
Please insert more coins.
Want to get away? Now you can. Fly to your favorite vacation destinations on Southwest Airlines starting at $69 one way. But hurry, seats are limited. So book now at southwest.com.
You are now free to move about the country.
We have a special deal for all the young Dodger fans. It's a 2008 Blue Crew Fan Club. Members get a Russell Martin drawstring backpack, a Dodgers cap, Dodger wallet, and 6 ticket vouchers good for special Blue Crew games. It's worth more than $100, but costs just $25. Sign up at Dodgers.com/Blue Crew or call 323-224-1315 to become a member today. Since Jeff Francoeur came into the major leagues July the 7th, 2005, celebrating his anniversary, that assist to nail Andre Ethier is the 51 assist for Jeff Francoeur, and it was a great throw. Meanwhile, Ethier had almost gotten to second base and could not get back, and he was doubled up. course, when you talk about assists in the outfield for the Braves, not just Francoeur, M.Kotsay. He leads all Major League outfielders since 1998. He has 113 assists. That's about 20 ahead of Andrew Jones and just ahead of Vladimir Guerrero. So here's Chipper, 0-1 to count. Off speed, chasing the breaking ball. Slow curve, 0-2. Jones walked in the first inning. It was a 6-pitch at bat. Just inside, little cutter, 1-2. Billingsley has struck out 4, has walked a couple, has not allowed a hit. Two and two the count. No score, 4th inning. And that runs the count all the way. So Billingsley has walked Jones in the first inning and Blanco in the third. Now going 3-2 on Jones the second time around. Down he goes, slow breaking ball. That might have been out of the strike zone. So down goes Chipper, 1 away. 5 strikeouts for Billingsley. Here's tonight's Aflac trivia question. Who's the only pitcher other than Sandy Koufax to throw more than 1 no-hitter with the Dodgers? The only other pitcher. Well, here's M.Teixeira, who broke up the perfect game last night with that line drive double to right. He was 1 for 3, grounded out his first at bat. 0-1 to Mark. 1 ball and 1 strike. Since Sunday, Teixeira has the only Braves hits. He had that game winner in the 17th inning with the bases loaded, and he had the only hit last night. 1-2 the count to M.Teixeira, son of a former Navy pilot. He was born in Annapolis, Maryland, so it figured he'd have a Navy background. 1-2, switch hitter. Mark 6'3", 225. Turned down an offer from the Rangers, 8 years, $140 million, and he turned it down. 2-2. Same pitch, that slow breaking ball that struck out Jones nails Teixeira. So that's 6 strikeouts for Billingsley and 3 in a row. And the batter now will be B.McCann. Big spinner and a big break way out of the zone in the dirt. B.McCann checking in. November last year, Brian had LASIK eye surgery, and he was thrilled with the results. He said, it's the best thing I've ever done. I've never been able to see this well in my life. 24 years old. 1 ball, no strikes. Ball 2. Brian is the son of former Marshall University head coach Howard McCann. He has a brother, Brad McCann, in the Marlins and now Royals organization. Brad is a third baseman. His father runs a baseball academy in the Atlanta area. And ball 3. His dad grew up in upstate New York, pretty good infielder. His father was drafted by the Twins. They didn't offer him enough money, so he went back to junior college, then to Mississippi State. Never had another chance to play pro ball, so his father gave it up, went into coaching. His brother was drafted by the Marlins 4 years ago out of Clemson, and he and Jeff Francoeur grew up together. I mean, they've been together in quite a while. Big swing, and he comes up empty. 3-2. When Brian was in high school, he was a second baseman. They finally converted him to catcher. Waiting on deck, his buddy, Jeff Francoeur. 3-2. And a high foul ball down the line, hooking towards the stands and out of play. One of the things that Brian McCann will always think about, his dad was a coach. His brother was in the infield. He was behind the plate. It was the 16 and under World Series, and the team won. Two brothers and a dad. And ball 4. So a 2-out walk. That would be the third pass issued by Billingsley. And the batter will be Jeff Francoeur. Francoeur was quoted as saying he felt like he had been betrayed when out of the blue he was suddenly dispatched to Double-A to Mississippi. You know who the pitching coach is? The hitting coach at Mississippi? Franklin Stubbs, the former first baseman of the Dodgers. Franklin is the hitting coach in Double-A in Mississippi. Francoeur, we mentioned earlier, outstanding safety in football. A lot of teams wanted him. Clemson was after him. In fact, he signed a letter of intent. Florida State wanted him. Georgia wanted him. Notre Dame wanted him. But the Braves wanted him to the extent they signed him to a bonus of $2.2 million. I mean, that's wanting him, all right. Jeff Francoeur, Frenchie. 6'4", 220, 24 years old. First year with the Braves, he had 300, then 260, then last year 293. 2-1. So for a guy with 293 last year, when he was hitting 234 this year, they sent him to Double-A, which brings up the old story. It's hard to get here. It's even harder to stay here. High fly ball to right field. Kemp is there. And that'll be that. No runs, no hits. In fact, Billingsley has not allowed a hit. He has walked a few, and he walks off, no score.
To help pay everyday bills when you're sick and can't work, Aflac gives you cash. Because these days, things can really add up. Aflac. Ask about it at work.
State officials have called a Flex Alert. Please turn off unnecessary lights, use appliances after 7, and set your AC to 78 degrees or higher.
Freezers are not cool.
Catch Dodgers live after the game on FSM Prime Ticket.
Hey, thanks for stopping by. You know, I followed your character since the first episode. I'm a big fan. Big fan.
Thank you.
And listen, your storyline, it makes for incredible TV drama. Thing is, your drug use is very adult content. Too adult for the kids. So I'm gonna have to block you.
Oh, man.
Yeah. Well, have a good one.
You're a nice lady.
I'm Tommy Davis. This is my story. I was going to sign with the Yankees on a Tuesday night, but Al Campanis kept coming over periodically just to show that the Dodgers were still interested. When he found out I was going to sign on a Tuesday night, he had Jackie Robinson call me, and that did it. When I heard his voice, I didn't know what he said. I imagine he was telling me about the advantages of signing with the Dodgers, but I didn't hear it. And I was just telling my mother, this is Jackie Robinson I'm talking to, you know. And so I signed Tuesday afternoon with the Dodgers.
Remember our Aflac trivia question? Naturally, it has to do with no-hitters. Who's the only pitcher other than Sandy Koufax to throw more than one no-hitter with the Dodgers? And you can remember, sure, Carl Erskine, who had no-hitters in 1952 and 1956. His no-hitter, one of the two, was against the Cubs. And that would have been a perfect game, except he walked one of the worst hitting pitchers in the National League by the name of Willard Ramsdell. Otherwise, Oist, as they called him in Brooklyn, would have had a perfect game. Bottom of the fourth, no score, Jeff Kent. Strike. 0-1. For Chad Billingsley, he's made 64 pitches in 4 innings. You know where Kuroda was on his 64th pitch last night? In the 7th inning. Yeah. Oh, and 1. And a fly ball starting back on it was Blanco, but now he comes in. 1 away. We mentioned it last night. Not only did Erskine have 2 no-hitters, he also lost a no-hitter against Cincinnati on a bunt single in the 8th inning by outfielder Gus Bell. We mentioned that Steve Garvey broke up a no-hitter with a bunt single against San Diego. Nick Esaski, who at one time was with the Braves, and when he was with Cincinnati, he broke up a no-hitter in the 8th inning against Oral Hershiser. Of course, when you talk about near misses, like a one-hitter as opposed to a no-hitter, we looked it up once, and I think this is right. Bob Feller had 12 one-hitters. 12. Mark will be thinking about that double for a while anyway, but it's just another day's work. 1-2. Dodgers had Ethier get to third on a hit-and-run single by Martin in the 1st inning. Jones got to second. A walk pushed him to second. And that's it for the Dodger attack. The Braves really have had nothing going. And a line drive to right. Frank Hill goes back and picks it off. Boy, that thing was stung. Line drive out, 2 down. You know, friends, thanks to Panda Express, all reserve level tickets to see the Dodgers and the Marlins this Thursday will cost $6. So log on to Dodgers.com/specials and use the promo code EGGROLL. 2 down in the 4th inning, and here's Andrew. Singled off Jurgen's glove. Ball 1. That was in the 2nd inning. The Braves had one man get to third. That was Blanco, who walked in the 3rd inning, stole second, got to third on the overthrow by Martin. No score, 4th inning. Strike. 1-1. That's what you expect Jurgens to give him, that hard slider down. Sooner or later, every pitcher in the league concentrates on that pitch with Andrew, which is one reason why he's hitting 164. That's a big glove, isn't it? Breaking ball off the plate, 2-2. Despite the size of that glove, the comebacker by Andrew Jones went off the glove for a base hit in the 2nd inning. Slider. Now let's see the guessing game. Will you go 3-2 slider? Would you dare go 3-2 fastball? Brian McCann would look like fastball. And it is. Ground ball wide to third. On it there, Chipper Jones to get him. So down go the Dodgers in the 4th inning. And at the end of 4, the Braves nothing and the Dodgers nothing.
Wiener Schnitzel, the world's most wanted wiener. Celebrate value with the 3 for $3 deal. An original chili dog, mustard dog, and corn dog in any combination you want. Just $3.
The Los Angeles Dodgers. For 50 years, the perfect combination of 21 pennants and 6 world championships. Celebrate this anniversary year with a Miller Lite, the perfect combination of taste and refreshment. Collect a Dodger Greats poster and save up to $80 on single-game Dodgers tickets when you pick up these specially marked packages of Miller Lite. And be sure to look for these custom Dodger Greats bottles and cans. Your Los Angeles Dodgers and Miller Lite. Just one more perfect combination. Miller Lite, the ultimate light beer.
My new Corolla gets around 35 miles per gallon.
With my Yaris, I'm getting 36 miles per gallon in the highway.
The gas mileage on the Camry is anywhere from 30 to 31 miles a gallon. I definitely have my MPG.
Toyota offers more vehicles with an EPA highway rating over 30 miles per gallon than any other manufacturer.
Since I've been driving it, I haven't gotten less than 45 miles per gallon. I love this car. I'm very proud of it.
Get your MPG at your Southern California Toyota dealer today.
Come see the Dodgers and enjoy a spectacular fireworks show Saturday night, July 12th. The Dodgers celebration of 50 years in Los Angeles continues with fireworks night presented by the Auto Club of Southern California. So come on out. Saturday, July 12th, it's the Dodgers against the Marlins, followed by fireworks. Visit Dodgers.com or call 866-DODGERS today. Dodger Baseball on FSN Prime Ticket is brought to you by Aflac. Ask about it at work. By your Southern California Lexus dealers who invite you to test drive a luxurious Lexus automobile today. And by the new Prime Rib $6 burger, served with grilled onions and horseradish sauce only at Carl's Jr. First ball swinging, Kelly Johnson probably bangs it into center field for a base hit, and that's hit number 1. Against Chad Billingsley.
Center fielder, number 11, M.Kotsay.
So M.Kotsay coming up with Johnson at first and nobody out. No runs, 1 hit for the Braves. No runs, 2 hits for the Dodgers. And nobody out here in the 5th inning. No score. And ball 1 down at Kotsay's left foot. Mark, as we told you, had that back surgery, and those who follow the Braves every day say that his back is still bothering him, but he's a gamer and not about to come out. Hard ground ball by the diving Loney for a base hit. Johnson will hold at second on a 1-hopper cut off by Nomar. So 4 innings, no hits, and then the first 2 batters in the 5th come up with base hits. First and second, nobody out. You would certainly be expecting young Jurgens to bunt, and would take a look and see he does have 3 sacrifices. Tim Hudson, who pitches tomorrow night, leaves the Braves. He has a half a dozen sacrifices. So the Dodgers have Loney up. Blake DeWitt in on the grass, but he also has to play kind of catty corner with Johnson coming down from second. Jurgens hitting .094, shows bunt. Ball 1. So Billingsley has walked 3. He has struck out 6, and he's allowed 1 hit and no score. One ball, no strikes. Bunt foul, 1-1. Jurgens again checking with Brian Snitker, the third base coach. Meanwhile, Garcia Parra visiting with Kelly Johnson. M.Kotsay at first. And certainly a familiar name in a Braves lineup for years. Their first base coach, former second baseman Glenn Hubbard. 1-1. And a strike. So 1-2 the count to Jair Jurgens. The pitch count always important. The 3rd and 4th innings. He made 43 of his 70 pitches. Worked very easily in the others. 1-2. He'll try to bunt. Fouls it. And is also grounded. I believe he almost hit himself with the foul ball, so he strikes out. And the runner's holding at first and second. That strikeout is number 7 for Chad Billingsley. So that's a big out, the failure of the young right-hander to advance the runners. And now Gregor Blanco coming up. Fly to center and walk. Left fielder 0 for 1. They have a fine set of arms in the outfield for Atlanta. Blanco has a good arm. M.Kotsay has a good arm. Francoeur has a great arm. They have really piled up the assists. 1 ball and no strikes. Blanco is 5'11", 175 pounder. And ball 2, 2-0. So Billingsley having to work a little harder than the first 4 innings. 2 on, 1 out. Rick Honeycutt, Joe Torre, Andy LaRose sitting back on the bench. Light breeze blowing out to right. And ball 3. On deck, Yunel Escobar. So Blanco, who walked, stole second and got around to third, now up there with a 3-0 count. And a strike. Doesn't figure they would green light Blanco. He has just 1 home run. He is anything but a power hitter. 3-1 the count. 2 on. Johnson at second. M.Kotsay at first. 1 out. And ball 4 to load him up. So that'll bring up Escobar, who had a very important at bat, you remember, in the 3rd inning. And Rick Honeycutt going to go out and try and counsel Chad Billingsley, who has good stuff, 7 strikeouts, but he's also walked 4. Now remember that at bat for Escobar in the 3rd inning. There was a runner at third with 2 out. M.Kotsay and Jurgens had struck out, but Blanco had walked, stole second, got third on the overthrow, and Escobar went 3-2. And you either got him or you were going to look at Chipper Jones. Well, on the 3-2 pitch, Escobar struck out. So the youngster coming up in another vital spot. Escobar hitting .289. He has a half a dozen home runs, 32 runs batted in. Edgar Renteria had a great deal to do with the development of Yunel Escobar. In fact, Escobar refers to Renteria as his baseball father. So the bases are loaded, 1 out, no score in the 5th. Hard ground, fair ball over third and down the line. In comes Johnson. In comes M.Kotsay. Here comes Blanco to score. So a double by Yunel Escobar to drive in 3, and the Braves are out in front, 3-0.
Stop, Kelly! Now batting for baseman number 10, Chipper Jones.
So he missed on his previous at bat, but not this time, as he hits it right over the bag and sends everybody home. So 3-0 Atlanta. Remember, Arizona won. They beat Washington 2-0 to give Brandon Webb his 13th win of the year. So a big base hit by Escobar. A double. That would be his 12th double, and he now has 35 runs batted in. So Billingsley is burned, and now here's Chipper, who has walked and struck out. Breaking ball strike, 0-2. So Yunel Escobar, who figures to be quite a ball player for many years to come, 25 years old, be 26 in November. 0-2. One and two the count to Chipper Jones, hitting .383. It's a great way to go into the All-Star break, hitting in the 380s. Larry Walker went into the break in '97, hitting .398. Tony Gwynn hit .394 at the break. Andres Galarraga one year hit .393 at the break. And of course, immediately everybody's talking about hitting .400, and it just does not materialize. And when they told Chipper when he was hitting .388, boy, you've got a chance, he said, no, don't even talk about it. 2 balls and 2 strikes the count. 1 out, 3 in. Braves lead 3-0. That's a strike. The Chipper's had it. Down he goes. Chipper Jones last night 0 for 3 with a strikeout. 0 for 2 tonight with 2 strikeouts. 8 strikeouts for Chad Billingsley, but the strikeout is not the payoff window, and it's 3-0 Atlanta. And the batter, Mark Teixeira, grounded out and struck out. Oh and 1. Despite the fact his dad went to Annapolis, Teixeira decided to go to Georgia Tech. 0-1. Off speed for a strike. 0-2. Teixeira has strange numbers in the sense in the daytime he's hitting .364. He's around .200 hitting at night. 0-2. Ground foul. Of all the switch hitters in Major League history, Teixeira back in 2005 had 144 RBIs, a new Major League record for RBIs by a switch hitter. The record had stood since 1896. And he has an uncle, Pete, who at one time was in the Braves organization. And big bouncer to Jeff Kent. The 3rd out is recorded, but not before the Braves get 3. Thanks to Yunel Escobar, who doubles in the 3, and the Braves take it to the dugout.
On the next Dodgers Insider, it's another historic first for the Dodgers. We'll hang with the boys in blue for their groundbreaking trip to the Olympic host city of Beijing, China. Dodgers Insider, tonight at 10:30 on FSN Prime Ticket.
Stay thirsty, my friends.
Dave's house for a week. With his cousin Alex.
I hope he's cool.
Hi, I'm Alex.
Why, hello, Alex.
You can never have too much good stuff. AM, PM, too much good stuff. Get the new bigger double cheeseburger, just $1.59.
Built on a sports car platform with a more fuel-efficient 390 horsepower engine, the all-new Infiniti FX, defining the performance crossover, redefining luxury.
Stay thirsty, my friends.
Dodger Baseball on FSN Prime Ticket is brought to you by Southwest. You're now free to be more productive. Visit southwest.com. In the last 3 innings, Chad Billingsley had 5 3-ball counts. And then the pitch that Escobar hit was the first pitch. So he was not about to go deep in the count. Billingsley was trying to get ahead of him with a first pitch strike, and boom, 3 runs. 0-1 the count to Nomar. Boy, the ball really comes out of Jurgen's hands quickly. Consistently over 90. One pitch up to 96. But a nice easy delivery. 0-2 the count. Last night we saw Vladimir Nunez, who just joined the Braves. And the Braves picked up Julian Tavares today. So it could be we would see another fellow who seemed to have disappeared off the radar screen for a little while. Fouled, and that bounced up, and Nomar's okay. For a moment I thought it hit him in the face. I think it might have hit his helmet. And the plate umpire, Gary Darling, saw it as well. 1-2 the count to Nomar. And a pop fly on the right side. M.Teixeira. So Garciaparra pops up, 1 away. Say, friends, superhero Batman has stepped up to save you 60% on Lowe's box and infield reserve tickets to see the Dodgers and Marlins Sunday. All compliments of The Dark Knight. Log on to Dodgers.com/eSaver and use the promo code Batman. Well, Blake DeWitt has been a Batman and a glove man in the 2 games. 3 for 3 last night and walked in the 2nd inning. Blake hitting .265, 5 home runs, 34 runs batted in. Time for the moment. The dreaded beach ball is loose in left field. One thing the Dodgers did, which was a little surprising last night, was to score runs, 2 of them, that's all, on a home run. No team has scored fewer runs on home runs than the Dodgers this year, and last night they picked up 2 of the 3 on Nomar's blast. Line drive, base hit, so they can't get DeWitt out. He has 4 hits and a walk in the series, and the batter will be Billingsley. Billingsley grounded out, actually bounced one up the middle, and Kelly Johnson had to go and get it. Almost got it through. That was back in the 2nd inning, and he'll take a look at Boa. Braves figure that the Dodgers will try to get him back 1 at a time. That means they'd have Billingsley bunt, and sure enough, he shows bunt. Ball 1. One foul, 1 ball and 1 strike to Chad. Waiting on deck, Matt Kemp. We're in the bottom of the 5th inning. Braves 3, Dodgers nothing, and now Larry Boa wants to talk to Billingsley. We mentioned it earlier with Kuroda pitching that shutout and winning 3-0 last night. We have had 6 straight shutouts at Dodger Stadium. And right now it's Braves 3, Dodgers nothing in the 5th. 1-1. Swinging. Big chopper to Johnson. Looks at second. Might have had play, but was not about to gamble. So for Billingsley, he grounds out, moving DeWitt to second, and that'll bring up Matt Kemp. But Johnson certainly had a good look right there, and then decided, nope. So 2 down. Blake DeWitt at second base. Split second decision by the Braves second baseman. So Billingsley, if nothing else, moved the man along. Here is Kemp, who has struggled with Jurgens. Kemp has struck out twice. And good fastball up around 96. Kent, with 2 strikeouts tonight, has struck out 94 times. No balls, 1 strike. And another one. 0-2. Keeping the ball down. That was the thing that Bobby Cox was so impressed about Kuroda last night. As he called it, pitching to contact, but keeping the ball down every pitch. And of course, Kuroda had over 11 ground ball outs last night. 0-2. And fouled away, so Matt's still there. Kemp hitting .281, 7 home runs, 46 runs batted in. B.McCann going out to talk to Jurgens. And as we mentioned, if you go out to talk to Jurgens, you can speak a lot of languages. Starting off with Papiamento. I'm sure Andrew Jones can speak a little Papiamento. A Creole language of Curacao. And then English, Spanish, Dutch. Sure, all the young kids speak a little bit of all those languages. 0-2 to Matt Kemp. Slider, ball 1. 1-2. DeWitt at second, 2 out. High fastball, and he hit 95 on the gun. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Jurgens, 22 years old. And got him, so Matt Kemp having a rough time. Has struck out 3 times, and it's still 3-0 Braves.
The best way to survive an accident is to avoid one altogether. The 2009 RX, offering 14 actively safe features. Lease the RX 350 for $449 a month for 36 months with $34.99 due at signing.
If you haven't been watching Dodgers baseball on FSN Prime Ticket lately, you've missed this.
Eric Stoltz, just terrific today.
Eric Stoltz, he's the 9th starting pitcher used by the Dodgers this year. I'll do whatever it takes to help the team win, whether it be for a couple weeks or the rest of the season. It doesn't matter.
Strikeout number 5.
That's good pitching by Eric Stoltz.
Watch the Hyundai highlight of the night every night on Dodgers Live, right here on FSN Prime Ticket.
The first case of HIV/AIDS was identified 25 years ago. Since then, 25 million people have died.
5,000 people die daily.
The fight against this disease still hasn't produced a cure.
So why should I care?
Because of the future. Because of the past.
Because of friends.
Because of strangers.
Because someone's fighting. Because every voice.
Every person.
Every effort brings us that much closer. So, why?
Why?
Why? Why should I care? Because I do. Join the fight.
Catch Dodgers Live after the game on FSN Prime Ticket.
On this day in 1980, the All-Star Game came to Dodger Stadium. There were 6 Dodgers on the National League team. Dodgers and the National League won 9 straight over the American, 4-2. Ken Griffey Jr. was the MVP. Let's see what else happened. Oh, Jerry Royce was the winning pitcher. And a couple of great innings by Bruce Sutter. Let's go back to this one. Three to nothing in favor of Atlanta. 1 ball and no strikes to B.McCann. Bobby Cox taking in the ball game. 2-0. I've got to tell you a story about Bobby Cox. You know how he met his wife? It was back in 1977, and Bobby and a couple of other young ball players went to a little clothing store. I think it was in Rome, Georgia. And a drive to the gap in right center and deep, and McCann is going to hit that one for his 16th home run of the year. And the Braves lead 4-0. So Billingsley being pushed around now, and again falling behind a 2-0 count. So maybe it's a good time to talk about Bobby meeting his wife. McCann, a towering drive into the bleachers, and the batter now will be Jeff Francoeur. No doubt about it. Little foul. That's going to go out of play. Anyway, Bobby and a couple of young ball players were in this clothing store in 1977. And before they had gotten there over the past couple of weeks, a lot of men's suits were disappearing from the store. And a lady named Pam was the store manager. And she saw Bobby and a couple of these young players milling about the clothing rack, and she called security. Said, I think these guys are going to steal some suits. 1-1 pitch to Francoeur, ball 2. So security came, and as soon as they started to talk, they thought, my gosh, these are ball players. So then Bobby said to Pam, the manager, look, you almost had me arrested. Can you give me your phone number? And she said, okay. The rest is history. And there's a base hit into left field. So a home run by McCann, a line drive single by Francoeur, and the batter will be Kelly Johnson. Ramon Troncoso begins to throw in the Dodger bullpen. And remember, Arizona won earlier today. They beat Washington 2-0. And Rick Honeycutt trying to go out to talk to Billingsley. Chad had great stuff. He struck out 8. However, he was having trouble getting that stuff over the plate. He walked 4, and his 4th walk in the 5th inning loaded the bases, and that's when Escobar came up and hit the first pitch for a double to drive in 3. So Chad Billingsley, who one day, and I think most people are in agreement, one day he will be an extremely successful pitcher. After all, he's only 23. He'll be 24 the end of July, so he's just starting out. So Billingsley will have to weather the storms, all part of the growing up process in the big leagues. So McCann homers, Francoeur singles. Here's Kelly Johnson, grounded out and then led off the 5th inning with a single, and that inning produced 3 runs. Ball 1. Johnson followed by Kotsay. They had back-to-back singles, and that was the beginning of the end. Not that it is the end, but it was the beginning of all the trouble for Billingsley in the 5th inning. 1-0. 1-1 to Kelly, hitting .275. 8 home runs, 37 runs batted in. First pick in the draft, 38th overall in the draft way back in 2000. 1-2. Kelly had Tommy John surgery. Second baseman and an outfielder. Hurt his arm and had to have the surgery to continue. 1-2. Tried to time it. Hit a little nubber to Loney down to the shortstop, and that's all, as Garciaparra can't return a throw. And the force play goes 3-6. So 1 out, and M.Kotsay coming up.
Now batting, center fielder.
Kotsay single to right in the 5th inning. Mark hitting .271. 4 home runs, 22 runs batted in. Kotsay was a fine football player. He was a quarterback and a free safety in high school Fresno State wanted him to come there, but he went to Cal State Fullerton to play baseball instead. Told you about his dad being a motorcycle policeman who was involved in a lot of races, specialty races, including the legendary Barstow Las Vegas run. His dad had some pretty bad accidents too in those races, and he never wanted Mark to follow in his footsteps, although he did teach him how to ride. Last we heard, Mark does have a Harley Davidson lowrider, but he doesn't take any chances. 2-0 the count. Off speed for a strike. A couple of years ago, as Billingsley hits 100 pitches, Kotsay hit a home run at Yankee Stadium. But what made it a little special, he not only hit the home run at Yankee Stadium on Mother's Day, he was using a pink bat, and he hit the home run against Randy Johnson. Ball 3. In fact, Nick Swisher, his teammate at the time, said if going yard off the big unit at Yankee Stadium with a pink bat doesn't make you a stud, I don't know what does. So he'll remember that one. 3-1 to count. Well, Brandon Webb picked up his 13th win today, shutting out Washington. And the Dodgers are down 4-0 here. That's a strike. M.Kotsay will be 33 in December. Not very happy as he talks back to Gary Darling. 3-2. With one out, we'll see what Johnson does. He goes, and it's a hit and run base hit, although technically a run and hit base hit. So Kotsay hits it to the spot vacated by Nomar, who had broken to cover. So turnabout is fair play. Remember, Russell Martin turned in a great hit and run play in the first inning. And now with a 3-2 count, it becomes run and hit, and Kotsay goes the other way for a hit. So a home run and 2 singles in the inning with 1 out. Here comes Joe Torre, and that's going to be all for Chad Billingsley. So he goes over the 100 pitch mark. He goes out losing 4-0. And of course, the runners at first and third are also his responsibility. And you would expect Jurgens to just try to bunt Kotsay to second and stay out of the double play. So we'll be right back.
Introducing the new value menu at KFC. Snackers, sandwiches, popcorn chicken, and more, starting at just 99 cents. The food you love at a price you'll love even more. Life tastes better with KFC.
And here we go.
Will you be wanting the back punch, sir?
Middle of the day, Alfred? Not very subtle.
The Lamborghini then. Much more subtle.
The Dark Knight. Rated PG-13. July 18th.
And change up. When he's on, he gets quite a few ground balls. So you have Johnson at third, Kotsay at first with 1 out. And a strike, 1-1. Jurgens has struck out twice, but they still put the bunt on. For Kotsay over there at first base, he has stolen 2 out of 3, and Kelly Johnson down the line from third. 1 ball, 1 strike. And the bunt is down. The play by Blake DeWitt is to first. He almost waited too long. DeWitt wanted to make sure that Kelly Johnson was not going to sneak home on a throw to first, and he just did hold him and then just did get Jurgens. So the sacrifice works. It advances Kotsay to second. Here's DeWitt, first thinking about the runner, hold him, and Jurgens runs very well and almost beat the throw. So a heads up play by DeWitt, but there are runners at second and third now with 2 down. And here is Blanco. Fly to center and walk twice. Ball one. Gregor Blanco hitting .264. Home run, 16 runs batted in. Stole second and got to third on an overthrow in the third inning, and finally scored in the fifth. So Johnson at third, Kotsay at second, 2 out. 4-0 Atlanta in the sixth inning. Fastball hit down the line, foul. 1-1. When the Dodgers come up in the bottom of the sixth inning, Ethier, Martin, and Kent. One ball, one strike. Two and one to count. Blanco hit his first and only Major League home run the end of May against Milwaukee in Milwaukee. And on deck, Yunel Escobar. And that's going to be hit into right field for a base hit. Johnson will score. Here comes Kotsay, a good throw, and it gets away from Martin, and the run scores. Russell appeared to tag him only to have the ball stint out. And so 2 runs come in on the single to right by Blanco, who takes second on the throw to the plate. So it is 6-0 in favor of Atlanta. Troncoso gives up the hit, and the runs are charged to Billingsley. They'll close the book on Chad now. Here's the apparent tag, and then the ball just came out of his hand. And the plate umpire started to call out and then reversed it to error. So Martin draws the error. That's his second error tonight. 6-0 Atlanta. Escobar a comebacker, and there's the third out. So he hit the first pitch for a bases clearing double, and he hits the first pitch in the sixth inning, a comebacker. And Billingsley is charged with 6-0 Atlanta. And as a left-hand hitter, he drove it into the seats, over the wall in right center field. That made it 4-0 Atlanta. They added a couple more. And we go to the bottom of the sixth inning. Bryan leading his club 6-0 over the Dodgers. And Jair Jurgens will be pitching to Ethier, Martin, and then Kent. Ethier has walked twice. Dodgers have just 3 hits. Ball one. Ethier hitting .284, 10 home runs, 39 runs batted in. Fastball strike, 1-1. Dodgers had Martin have a hit and run single in the first inning. Jones, a comebacker, singled off Jurgens' glove in the second inning, and DeWitt singled to center in the fifth. That's been the Dodger attack. Fouled away, 1-2. A victory tonight would get the Dodgers to the 500 mark, but Billingsley being roughed up, 6 runs, 6 hits, and 5 1/3 innings. The Dodgers also are faced with the unhappy prospect of falling out of first place. Arizona already won 2-0 behind Brandon Webb, playing Washington. Braves took the field tonight 6 games behind Philadelphia. Big bouncer up the middle. Johnson can't get it. So Ethier, a ground single to center here in the sixth. And the batter will be Russell Martin. Russell Martin hit and run single in the first inning. On an 0-2 pitch, the Dodgers ran Ethier. And remember, Martin hit a line drive at Francoeur. And Francoeur got the throw back to first base before Ethier could get back. Jeff Kent on deck. 0-1. Fastball strike. So that was the count last at bat. Of course, in the third inning, there was no score in the ball game. Twice, Joe played hit and run with Martin. In the first inning, Russell singled to the spot vacated by Kelly Johnson. And then the second time, he hit the ball right at Francoeur in right field. Boxed around home plate, holding. Nice save by B.McCann. 1-2 the count. You might have noticed during this game or last night, there is a patch on the sleeve. There it is, beach. Well, they're not talking about going to the beach here in Southern California by any name. That was the nickname of a wonderful guy by the name of Jim Beecham. Jim played 10 years in the major leagues. Played with the Cardinals, the Astros, and the Braves and Reds, plus the Mets. But he was also Bobby Cox's bench coach for about 8 years, helping the Braves to win a World Championship, 4 National League pennants, and 7 division titles. Beach passed away after a lengthy battle against leukemia. Ground ball backhanded at third, and the long throw right on the money. Nice play by Chipper. Down to second goes Ethier. So Jones makes it look easy. First to get to the ball, set for the throw. Martin runs well. Then the long throw right there. So Chipper's been turning in plays like that ever since he took over the position. An all-star for a long time. And the batter, Jeff Kent, hit into a double play and flied to left. One out, sixth inning. Braves 6, Dodgers nothing. And remember, we have had 6 straight shutouts here at Dodger Stadium. That's right, last night's shutout, number 6. Oh, and 1. One ball, one strike. So Andre Ethier trying to get home and get the Dodgers on the board. Kent trying to pick him up. 1-2. Jair Jurgens has allowed 4 hits. He has struck out 4. He also walked 3, walking Ethier twice, and DeWitt. 1-2. Foul ball, still 1-2. Those 6 shutouts in a row, it all started when the White Sox were here. And the Dodgers, Eric Stultz, shut out Chicago 5-0. Then the White Sox had Danks shut down the Dodgers 2-0. Then the Dodgers against the Angels shut the Angels down behind Chan Ho Park 6-0. Check swing. He's done. Then Billingsley shut down the Angels 1-0. Then Lackey,
first baseman, number 7,
shut down the Dodgers 1-0. And then last night, Kuroda. So 6 straight shutouts, and the Dodgers on the wrong end of one right now. 6-0 Braves. And the batter, James Loney. 5 strikeouts for Jurgens. Loney is grounded out, fly to right, 0 for 2. Hitting .298. Fastball, check swing, and he's going to get away with it. So Loney just holding up, and it'll be a double and a run batted in on a check swing right out of Wimbledon. So Jurgens figuring, well, okay, that's all part of this wacky game. What's this? Federer and Nadal. Center court at Wimbledon. So here's Andrew Jones after Loney pings one into left. Jurgens has the sense to smile over it for the moment. Now back to work against Andrew. So Loney at second, 6-1 Braves. Fastball off the plate. Andrew singled off that big glove of Jurgens, and then last time I've grounded to third to Chipper Jones. 12 years with the Braves, and I mean during the salad days. Remember, the Braves won 14 straight division titles. So Andrew has certainly known the good days. He is experiencing the bad days, but he smiles just as you saw Jurgens smiles. And he has his name up there with the big boys, Aaron, Matthews, Jones, Murphy, and Andrew. Aaron, of course, hit a bunch without the Brave uniform. Same with Matthews. Chippers all with the Braves. 1-1. Ball 2, 2-1. Talking about home runs, of course. Andrew had 51 home runs in 05 with 128 runs batted in. Fouled away. You look back at Jones and his home runs starting in 1998. 31, 26, 36, 34, 35, 36, 29, 51, 41, 26. I mean, he scorched him. Two and two. Fastball got him looking. So Andrew is caught looking. Down he goes. The Dodgers get a big break on that check swing double for Loney to get a run. And it's 6-1 Atlanta.
State officials have called a flex.
And that got the Braves on the scoreboard big time. And then the following inning in the sixth, led by McCann's home run, they added 3 more. So Escobar is 1 for 4 tonight, but it was a big hit to drive in 3. Here in the 7th, Jones, Teixeira, and McCann against Troncoso. Ground ball to short. Jones having a very quiet series. 0 for 3 tonight. 0 for 6 while striking out 3 times.
First baseman, Mark Teixeira.
1 away. The batter will be Mark Teixeira. He's 0 for 3. 1 for 6 in the series, but of course that was that double last night. Strike. The Athletics and the Mariners played a game in Oakland. The Athletics won the game 2-0. But the time of game, everybody talking about the quick game last night, 2 hours and 3 minutes. Tonight, the A's and the Mariners, time of game, 1 hour and 49 minutes. And, of course, with Oakland at home and winning, there was no bottom of the ninth. But an hour and 49. I know one thing. When I used to go to the games in New York as a kid, I hated a quick game. I mean, the longer, the better. I wanted to spend my lifetime in the ballpark. Never mind a quick 149. I remember a Giant Braves game, Larry Jansen and Red Barrett, and it was like an hour and a half, and I really felt like I'd been robbed. The experts were talking about what a magnificent game it was, and I thought, wait a minute. 3-2 the count to M.Teixeira. Ramon Troncoso in relief of Chad Billingsley. He's due to bat third when the Dodgers come up in the 7th inning. By the way, Jurgens doesn't figure to be around too much longer, even though he's leading 6-1. Jurgens has now made 103 pitches. The last time he faced the Dodgers back in April, he went 7 and made 114, the most pitches he made in any single game this year. And he's almost ready to do the same thing tonight. So they'll be watching him carefully and getting the bullpen back of him. Teixeira still there, 3-2. Will Oman, left-hander, warming up down in the Braves bullpen. Will at one time pitched for the Cubs. Breaking ball and a dandy. So Teixeira goes 0 for 4 and strikes out twice. He struck out once last night. So Jones and Teixeira have not been able to do anything in either game. But the Braves tonight leading 6-1. And here's McCann, struck out, walked, and homered. 16 home runs, 49 runs batted in, and a fly ball into left center. It's Andrew Jones. So Troncoso sets him down in order, and at the end of 6.5, 6-1 Atlanta.
On the next Dodgers Insider, it's another historic first for the Dodgers. We'll hang with the boys in blue for their groundbreaking trip to the Olympic host city of Beijing, China. Dodgers Insider, tonight at 10:30 on FSN Prime Ticket.
You're thinking steak. Your car informs you to avoid the next exit, and that you'll have fresh powder in Aspen tomorrow. And for steak, your car recommends the filet at Boulevard. The highly intelligent, redesigned Acura RL with technology package. Luxury in its most advanced state. Acura Advance.
The Los Angeles Dodgers. For 50 years, the perfect combination of 21 pennants and 6 world championships. Celebrate this anniversary year with a Miller Lite, the perfect combination of taste and refreshment. Collect a Dodger Greats poster and save up to $80 on single-game Dodgers tickets when you pick up these specially marked packages of Miller Lite. And be sure to look for these custom Dodger Greats bottles and cans. Your Los Angeles Dodgers and Miller Lite. Just one more perfect combination. Miller Lite, the ultimate light beer.
And now another Reelin' in the Years, brought to you by Miller Lite. Perfect combination of taste and refreshment. Hailing from the baseball hotbed of San Pedro de Macorís in the Dominican Republic, Pedro Guerrero was obtained from the Cleveland Indians at the age of 17. In 1980, Pedro blossomed, and for the next 9 seasons, he became the Dodgers' offensive heart and soul. Part of 1981's Comeback Kids, Guerrero hit .500 over the final 4 games of the World Series and earned co-MVP honors.
Well, the folks are certainly in good voice singing Take Me Out to the Ball Game. Hope you perhaps will join the chorus out here tomorrow night. Tomorrow night it'll be Tim Hudson and Derek Lowe. Tim Hudson with a record of 9-6 and another fine ERA of 3.1. Hello, sugar. And for the Dodgers, Derek Lowe 6-8 with an ERA of 4. They'll tangle tomorrow. Hope you be out here with us, and if you can, bring the kids. Well, Will Oman picks up. Jurgens, as we said, making a lot of pitches, 103, and Bobby decides that's enough. And the first pitch is a towering fly ball heading for the glove of M.Kotsay. And one away on Garcia Parra's fly ball. For Jurgens, the Dodgers were only 1 for 6. They hit into 2 double plays, striking out 3 times, and I'm talking about with runners in scoring position. And the only hit they got with a runner in scoring position, that check swing Wimbledon double by James Loney. So Will Ullman gets an out, and Blake DeWitt, whom they have not been able to retire, walked and singled after having 3 hits last night. So DeWitt hitting .268. 5 home runs, 34 runs batted in. Will Ullman was born in West Germany, in Frankfurt. Foul ball out of play. Last we checked, Will lived in Agoura Hills, went to Pepperdine University, honorable mention All-State senior year of high school. And when he was at Pepperdine, he majored in business administration. He was signed by the Cubs 10 years ago, came up with the Cubs, and finally moved over to the Braves this year. Will is 6'2", 205-pounder. He'll be 31 years old the middle of August. Now the 2-1 pitch. Breaking ball off the plate. Fastball on the hands, foul back. 3-2 the count. You know, when they tease you on a team, when they're playing tricks on you, you can bet they like you. And it happened a couple of years ago to Will Ullman. There was a spring training game in 2005. He was with the Cubs. Comebacker right into his glove, 2 down. Anyway, they made an announcement in spring training. They said there's a white Yukon on the concourse, needs to be moved before the game. Well, Ullman didn't hear any of that. He thought, well, there's a film crew, and he saw Mike Remlinger walking down, and he assumed the crew was filming him. Andy LaRoche is going to come up and bat for Troncoso. Well, anyway, when Ullman got into the bullpen, he opened the door in the visitors' bullpen and said, whoa, there's a tire in here. Then he looked at the tire. He said, that's my tire. Kind of registered that perhaps my tires were no longer on the car. Well, they weren't. All 4 wheels had been removed. He found one in the dugout. There was one in the shower. There was one in the bullpen, and there was one in the coach's locker room. Nice trick. Pop flying to right. Johnson backs out. Coming in is Frank Clear. He didn't come up from Mississippi to just watch. So anyway, the wheels were off, but for Will, the wheels are on tonight. And at the end of 7, 6-1 Braves.
Please obey all traffic laws to and from the restaurant.
Are we there yet?
No.
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 Are we there yet?
You little...
I think we're there.
Woohoo! Springfield comes to Universal Studios. It's the all-new Simpsons ride.
Happy times.
Check out the all-new Simpsons ride, now open at Universal Studios Hollywood, the entertainment capital of L.A. And for a limited time, adults get in at kids' price.
Woohoo! Here's the windup. The pitch is low.
You want passion? You've come to the right place. This is America. Passion was invented here. In your face, my team rocks. Your team couldn't hit the side of a barn. Passion. And only at Bank of America can you wear your passion on your card. That's my expression banking. You're not just someone with a dull plastic card. You're someone with heart. A little out there, but with heart. Want to let the world know where your passions lie? You can with Bank of America. Bank of Opportunity.
He stuffed tonight. He struck out 8 in 5 1/3 innings, and he had some of the Braves looking overmatched. However, Yunel Escobar hit the first pitch with the bases loaded and doubled to drive in 3. And then later on, the next inning, B.McCann came up and took Billingsley into the right center field bleachers, and the Braves led 6-0. The Dodgers were lucky to get a run. Ethier singled and a 2-out check swing double by Loney, accounting for the only Dodger run. So Joe Beimel, who hasn't worked since briefly Saturday in San Francisco, could use a little work. And here he is facing Jeff Francoeur, Kelly Johnson, and M.Kotsay. Little nubber. Beimel down to get it. And that'll do it for Frenchie. 1 away. He goes 1 for 4 since being called up from Mississippi. And the batter will be Kelly Johnson. Grounded out, singled, and hit into a force play. Kelly batting .274 with 8 home runs, 37 runs batted in. Braves 6, Dodgers 1. We're in the 8th. Tomorrow night, Derek Lowe and Tim Hudson. The Diamondbacks behind Brandon Webb shut out Washington 2-0. Webb winning his 13th. So unless the Dodgers do something, they will move out of the high-rent district and go back to second place, trailed by a game. 1-1. Six runs, 7 hits for Atlanta. 1 run, 5 hits for the Dodgers. The Braves have had a terrible time on the road. They are 12-30 on the road. Fouled away. 17, well, including tonight. Let's move that. 16 of the next 19 are on the road for Atlanta. So they had best solve their problems. And Bobby said one thing. We might get 5-6 runs in one game and then go 1-0, 1-2 the next 3 or 4. Well, they've got a half a dozen tonight after being blanked last night. The paid attendance tonight, nice crowd. Tuesday night, 39,702. We had 39,896 last night. 2-2 the count to Kelly Johnson. Kelly has some sock and promptly hits one into right field for the base hit. So Johnson 2 for 4. And the batter will be M.Kotsay, who struck out and then singled twice. So Johnson at first. 6 runs, 8 hits for the Braves. 6 hits against Billingsley, 1 hit against Troncoso, and now this one against Beimel. Kotsay hitting .275. Mark has 4 home runs, 22 runs batted in. Fastball hit foul. 0-1. Martin Prado comes out on deck. He would bat for Oman. .0-1 the count to Mark. Beimel and Kotsay. Kotsay 1 for 7 in the past against him. And promptly over the glove of Jeff Kent, base hit. So the 2 left-hand hitters, Johnson and Kotsay, get base hits. The right-hand batter hit the ball halfway to the mound.
Your attention, please, for the Braves, batting for Oman, number 14.
So Will Oman does his job. He comes in, gets 3. And now Martin Prado coming up. Prado hitting .255 with a half a dozen runs batted in. He's from Maracay in Venezuela. 6'1", 190. 24 years old. He'll be 25 the end of October. And ball 1. Last year, he led all full season players in the Atlanta Braves organization. He hit .316. That was good enough to rank second in the International League, playing for Richmond. Does not have much power. Is high in the minor leagues 4. But he strokes that thing into right center for a base hit. They are going to wave Kelly Johnson in. The throw is offline, so Kelly will come in standing up. It is 7-1 Braves on 3 straight hits against Joe Beimel.
Let's go, Kelly. That'll be.
So the left-hander is touched up for the run as Prado delivers, and the batter will be Blanco.
Left fielder, Gregor Blanco.
So Gregor Blanco coming up as Beimel gives up 3 hits. Corey Wade gets up down in the Dodger bullpen. So Kotsay at second, Prado at first, and Wade in the pen. For Prado, as he stands at first, not quite the biggest memory he's going to have, but a couple of years ago, Prado hit his first major league home run, a 3-run shot to lead the Braves over the Phillies, and his mother was watching the game on TV in Venezuela. One of the big thrills in the Prado family. So here is Blanco. And ball 1. Blanco flied to center, walked twice, singled, and scored a run. 1 out, 1 in, 7-1 Georgia. And a strike, 1-1. Yunel Escobar is out on deck. He had the biggest single hit of the night. 3 straight hits here with 1 out, and Escobar's tuning up. 1-1. Curveball in the dirt. Nice save by Martin. 2 balls and 1 strike. So the man from Duquesne, Joe Beimel. So in Billingsley, Troncoso, and now Joe. Kotsay and Prado out on the lines, and Blanco waiting. 2-1. Fastball, and now Joe's behind 3-1. And a ground ball to Loney, down to Garcia Parra. High throw. Beimel came off the bag to catch it. So it is a force play, 3-6. And that will bring up Escobar. So Prado is cut down at second, but he gets 5s in the dugout for his pinch hit. And now Joe Torre coming out with Escobar coming up and Corey Wade throwing in the bullpen. It would appear the anticipated switch, right-hand pitcher against right-hand hitter. So here comes Corey, and we'll be back.
So, you feel you've been receiving some inappropriate advances?
Yes, I have.
Like what?
Let's just say it's inappropriate.
I see.
So, what are you gonna do about it?
Honestly, I'd say you're asking for it.
Oh, no.
Wiener Schnitzel, the world's most wanted wiener. Celebrate value with the 3-for-3 deal. An original chili dog, mustard dog, and corn dog in any combination you want. Just $3.
What are you up to?
Paying some bills online.
Oh, that's real safe.
I do all our banking online. Wamu's got this online banking guarantee thing, so I feel really secure.
Really secure. Whoa, I feel really safe.
Yeah. Phil.
Huh? What?
WAMU Online Banking. We've got your back.
Woohoo!
WAMU.
Pretty tasty. What's that right there?
It's the prime rib on the Black Angus burger.
Man, I killed that hamburger. So we turn around. Just do it subtle. Dude, this place is weird.
How you gentlemen doing?
That looks like a bag from Carl's Jr. Do you think you just had a Carl's Jr. hamburger? I don't think so. Yeah. We're shooting a Carl's Jr. commercial and you're in it right now.
Introducing the Prime Rib $6 burger, only at Carl's Jr.
We have a minute, and we wanted to show you something. Atlanta's leading 7-1, so we have time. In the first inning, on a double play ball, we talked about Escobar dropping his arm a little bit to make the base runner slide. But if you go back to a Phillies game, Ryan Church gets it right in the head, the right leg of Escobar, because Ryan wasn't down, and I mean that just knocked him silly. So with Escobar, you not only have to worry about those flying legs, but he'll also drop the arm angle. And of course, it's all designed to make that base runner get down early. The Braves have come alive. With Billingsley not allowing a hit through 4 innings, the Braves in the series had 1 hit in 40 at-bats. And since then, they're 10 for 20. The Cox's club now starting to get some hits. And here is Corey Wade. It's 7 runs, 10 hits for the Braves, 1 run, 5 hits for the Dodgers. You have Kotsay over at third and Blanco at first. Good breaking ball for a strike to Escobar. Escobar grounded out, struck out, but then had the big double on the first pitch with the bases loaded in the 5th inning. And pops it up back at first down the line. Kent signaling that he has it, and he does. So that's the inning. But the Braves get 1. They have 3 hits, leave 2, and it's 7-1 Atlanta.
This city deserves a better class of criminal.
This summer, out of the darkness comes the night. The Dark Knight.
He does that.
Rated PG-13, July 18th.
Where we come from, high gas prices are nothing new. Perhaps that's why BMW offers more vehicles that average at least 28 miles per gallon than any other luxury automaker. BMW, the ultimate driving machine. What makes BMW an unrivaled value? Find out at SoCalBMW.com.
If you haven't been watching Dodgers baseball on FSN Prime Ticket lately, you've missed this.
Eric Stoltz, just terrific today.
Eric Stoltz, he's the 9th starting pitcher used by the Dodgers this year. I'll do whatever it takes to help the team win, whether it be for a couple weeks or the rest of the season. It doesn't matter.
Strikeout number 5.
That's good pitching by Eric Stoltz.
Watch the Hyundai highlight of the night every night on Dodgers Live, right here on FSN Prime Ticket.
Hey, thanks for stopping by. You know, I followed your character since the first episode. I'm a big fan. Big fan. Thank you. And listen, your storyline, it makes for incredible TV drama. Thing is, your drug use is very adult content. Too adult for the kids. So I'm gonna have to block you. Oh, man. Yeah. Well, have a good one.
You're a nice lady.
Yunel Escobar doubled in 3 in the 5th inning. The Braves came back, spearheaded by McCann's home run to add 3 more in the 6th, breaking open a scoreless tie. Chad Billingsley went 5 1/3. After winning 4 in a row, they chased him. And then Jurgens went 6, allowed just 1 earned run, made 103 pitches, and they took him out for Will Ullman. And now Blaine Boyer. So bottom of the 8th inning. Blaine Boyer, you hear that last name, and if you've been following baseball a long time, you might say, boy, that is a baseball name. I mean, there was Ken Boyer, who really put his signature in the game with the St. Louis Cardinals, but also played with the Dodgers. In fact, when Ken Boyer played with the Dodgers, the Dodgers had a kid shortstop named Bill Russell, and they moved and roomed Bill Russell with Ken Boyer. And the logic was that Ken Boyer would teach Bill Russell the ropes. And from that day forward, Russell's nickname was always Ropes. Well, okay, there was Ken Boyer. There was Cleet Boyer, who played third base for a lot of clubs, including the Yankees and the Atlanta Braves. And he was, of all the Boyers, the most colorful. Matt Kemp has struck out 3 times tonight, 0 for 3. And the other Boyer that comes to mound was a right-hand pitcher. They were all related, named Cloyd Boyer. So you had Ken, Cleet, and Cloyd. So here is Blaine Boyer. He's a Georgia boy out of Atlanta and Marietta. Went to elementary school with Bobby Cox's daughter. They were in the 5th grade, and Bobby came into the lunchroom to see his daughter, and Blaine, with all of the other kids, were in awe. And now he's working for Bobby. Drive to center, Kotsay on his horse. 1 away. Jason Schmidt pitched tonight for Vegas. The only numbers I think that mean anything, he made 59 pitches, struck out 2. Joe will get a much better report than the simple numbers from the game. And of course, for the Dodgers and Jason Schmidt, how will he feel tomorrow? When can he pitch again? But he did pitch tonight. 59 pitches, 4 innings. Here's Ethier, walked twice, single. Right, 0-1. One ball and 1 strike to count. Ethier walked and got to third in the first inning. Walked and was doubled up trying to get back to first on a hit-and-run fly ball, and then singled in the 6th inning. 1-2. Andre hitting .287. Boyer with fastball, curve, and change. Two and 2. Two balls, 2 strikes. And a shot up the middle, but Escobar was shading him to the bag and takes care of him. So 2 down in the 8th inning. And the batter will be Russell Martin. Big grin on Escobar's face.
Catcher number 55.
Martin,
Russell Martin.
Singled, hit into a double play, fly ball double play. They put the hit and run play on in the first inning. Ethier was at first, broke for second. Kelly Johnson broke the cover. Martin hit it right in Johnson's footprints for a base hit to right center. So they tried it again in the 3rd inning with a no ball, 2 strike count. And Ethier took off, and Martin hit almost a line drive at Jeff Francoeur. By the time Ethier could recover, turn, and get back, Francoeur, with one of the great arms in the league, doubled him at first base. And then last time up, Martin grounded out. We can show you that double play. There goes Ethier. And here's Francoeur now with the ball. Andre trying to get back and doubled up. Jeff can really throw that ball from right field, but as we mentioned, they have a fine trio of arms out there. Francoeur probably with the best one, and then M.Kotsay right back of him, and then young Blanco throws well. So they have come here armed. 3-1 the count to Martin. Jeff Kent on deck. We're in the bottom of the 8th inning. 7-1 Atlanta. Diamondbacks won their game over Washington 2-0 behind Brandon Webb. Fastball fouled away. 3-2. Blaine Boyer, like just about every pitcher before him, has had some arm trouble. Went on the DL with stiffness, then made a pitch in the dirt, grabbed his shoulder, and he was out. In 2006, he had diagnostic arthroscopic surgery, rotator cuff. Ground ball to Escobar, and that'll be that. So Blaine Boyer comes in and lives up to that great baseball name. And at the end of 8, it's 7-1 Atlanta.
I'm Tommy Davis. This is my story. I was going to sign with the Yankees on a Tuesday night, but Al Campanis kept coming over periodically just to show that the Dodgers were still interested. When he found out I was going to sign on a Tuesday night, he had Jackie Robinson call me, and that did it. When I heard his voice, I didn't know what he said. I imagine he was telling me about the advantages of signing with the Dodgers, but I didn't hear it. And I was just telling my mother, this is Jackie Robinson I'm talking to, you know. And so I signed Tuesday afternoon with the Dodgers.
Southwest Airlines now offers over 100 daily nonstop flights between the LA area and Bay Area. Add in all our convenient airports, on-time flight performance, low fares, and friendly customer service, and it's easy to see why we're California's airline for business. Southwest Airlines, with more flights between the LA area and Bay Area than any other airline.
You are now free to move about the country.
And there goes Pierre. Sunday, July 13th, it's baseball under the sun at Dodger Stadium, and the first 50,000 fans receive a Dodger travel mug, courtesy of KLOS Radio. The Dodgers host the Florida Marlins at 1:10 p.m., so get in on the action and get a new blue travel mug for your car. For tickets, visit Dodgers.com or call 866-DODGERS today. The Braves putting it to the Dodgers tonight, 7-1. Remember, Atlanta swept the Dodgers 3 when they were back there in April. So the Braves winning tonight will have beaten the Dodgers 4 out of 5 in the last meeting of the year tomorrow night. Tim Hudson and Derek Lowe. And then the Florida Marlins will come in to begin a 4-game series. Thursday, Friday, and Saturday nights, Sunday afternoon, and then you have the All-Star break. And following the break, the Dodgers go out briefly to Arizona and Colorado, and then come home to scramble with Washington, San Francisco, and Arizona again. So the Dodgers, from the 18th of July, will begin a 3-game series with Arizona and come right back on the 31st to begin a 4-game series. So they have 7 with the D-backs just around the corner. Here's Chipper, 0 for 3 with a walk. Jones 0 for 3 in the first game, so he's been pretty quiet. 0 for 6 with 3 strikeouts. Not the same hitter that the Dodgers saw in Atlanta. In the 3-game series down there, he was 6 for 11 with 2 home runs and 4 runs batted in. 1 ball and 1 strike. Way out in front of it. In case you wonder, Chipper's 36. Born in DeLand, Florida, lives in South Texas. Good breaking ball, and down he goes again. So Chipper Jones strikes out 3 times tonight, 4 times in the 2-game series. And the batter will be Mark Teixeira. Good breaking ball. So Corey Wade gets an out. And now Mark Teixeira, who is 0 for 4 and has struck out twice. So Jones and Teixeira have struck out 5 times between them tonight, and they've still scored 7 runs and 10 hits. It's been the bottom of the lineup, plus that 1 double by Yunel Escobar. You get down to the bottom, you see where Johnson has 2 hits and M.Kotsay has 3, and then the pinch hitter had 1. So 6 hits in the bottom 3 in the lineup. Foul ball. Tomorrow night, Tim Hudson and Derek Lowe. Tim Hudson, at one time a 20-game winner, and a towering fly ball to deep right field. Back goes Matt to the track at the wall, gone. So Teixeira hits one into the seats, and it is 8-1 Atlanta for Mark Teixeira as he touches them all. His 17th home run and his 67th run batted in. It's also the 2nd home run hit by the Braves tonight. The other one hit by catcher Brian McCann. Fastball out over the plate above the knees, and Corey knew there was damage all over that one. The Braves, with 2 home runs tonight, have hit 87 home runs. And another drive, and that one's going to go into the bullpen. So McCann hits his 2nd home run, and the Braves are all over Corey Wade. So 9-1 in favor of Atlanta. Brian McCann is 2 for 4, both home runs. And the batter will be Jeff Francoeur. Was another fastball right out over the plate. That thing back near the trees in the bullpen. And ball 1 to Jeff Francoeur. Back-to-back home runs by Teixeira and McCann. It's the 5th time that the Braves have done that. It's also the 3rd time Teixeira and McCann have done it, but actually the 4th time because they had back-to-back-to-back home runs. So they had Francoeur and McCann, then they had Jones, Teixeira, and McCann, then Teixeira, McCann, and tonight Teixeira, McCann. 9-1 Atlanta. We're in the 9th inning. When the Dodgers come up, it'll be Kent, Loney, and Jones. Yunel Escobar doubled with the bases loaded in the 5th inning to drive in 3. That would be a dream for Jeff Francoeur. Right. So Francoeur walks away empty-handed. Francoeur's been up with the bases loaded twice as many times as any other Brave. 20 times to be exact. And he's 2 for 20. Escobar, the kid, is 3 for 8 now with the bases loaded. And here's Kelly Johnson. He has a couple of singles, scored twice. Ball 1. So Corey Wade has struck out 2, but he's given up 2 home runs. Fastball strike, 1-1. Kent, Loney, and Jones coming up in the bottom of the 9th. Brian McCann and Mark Teixeira back-to-back yet again. Oh, good breaking ball. 1-2 the count. It's the fastball that Wade has left right out over the plate and has been punished for doing so. 1-2. Fastball away. Hudson and Lowe tomorrow night. Hope you be out here with us if you possibly can. And then the Florida Marlins starting Thursday night. Little comebacker. So that's it. 2 runs, 2 swings of the bat by Teixeira and McCann. And at the end of 8.5, 9-1 Braves.
What
can Madam Zaraya do for you?
I think my boyfriend is cheating on me.
Ah, yes, I have just the thing.
Here's 9-1 in the last 4 innings. They just chewed them up. And now they go to the bullpen again. And a fellow who has just joined the ball club, Julian Tavares, the much-traveled Tavares, who was originally signed in 1990 with the Indians. He came up with the Indians. Then he went to the Giants, then to the Rockies, then to the Cubs, then to the Marlins, then the Pirates, then the Cardinals, then the Red Sox, then the Brewers, and now Atlanta. So 10 different teams, and Delwyn Young will come up to face the veteran. He's 35 years old, 6'2", 195 from the Dominican. And Delwyn Young will check in to hit for Jeff Kent. Delwyn made a wonderful play last night, and not very many people saw it. When Nomar Garciaparra hit the home run into the Dodger bullpen, he made a great over-the-shoulder catch. 2-0. Now he gets a chance to play for real. Tomorrow night, Tim Hudson, Derek Lowe. Final game of the year with the Braves. The Philadelphia Phillies lost. The Cardinals beat the Phillies 2-0. I mean, the Braves are anything but dead. You know, they're 5 games back if they win tonight, and they certainly have both hands on it. Delwyn Young gets a walk. So leading 9-1. The new Braves pitcher walks the leadoff man, which is somewhat discouraging for them. And here's James Loney. Grounded out, fly to right, and then had that tennis double to left field. Tavares, as a kid, had the nickname Yo-Yo. They asked Julian why the name Yo-Yo, and he said, I got into a lot of fights. I was wild. People said, you've got a yo-yo head. And then he said, I got into a lot of fights in the streets, but I never won one. Oh, and 1 the count. Loney hitting .300, 7 home runs, 48 runs batted in. Two and 1 the count. Tavares said one time a shortstop, but a local scout said, you have a good arm, but you're never going to make it as a shortstop. And pitching has turned out to be a great career for him. And that's going to be hit into right field. Base hit for Loney. Young will stop at second. He could have walked over to third. So first and second and nobody out.
Number 25.
So Loney comes up with his second hit. And the Dodgers first and second, nobody out. And Andrew Jones coming up. Well, one thing for Tavares, he certainly has a wide margin for error. Oh, and 1 the count, Andrew. So what are the odds, and we had it earlier, of 2 young fellas from Curaçao in the Netherlands Antilles playing in a big league game against each other? But that's what we had with Jurgens, the pitcher, and Andrew, the center fielder. 0 and 1. And a strike. 0 and 2 the count. Having just joined the ball club, Tavares is not even on the sheet. He just got here. 0 and 2. 2 on, nobody out. 9-1 Braves, 9th inning. And he's off the rubber. And asking for time. And asking his catcher, B.McCann, to go over the signs again. Tavares, 6'2", 195. When he first came over here, he was 155 pitching in rookie ball. I think he crossed up McCann. Yeah, oh, yeah. That must be really tough. You haven't even met the guy, and you're looking for one. Watch where this pitch goes. I mean, when your catcher starts to duck, you're not exactly on the same page. 1-2 the count. So Young at second, Loney at first, nobody out in the 9th. Julian Tavares, the much-traveled right-hander from Santiago in the Dominican. 10 different ball clubs. 1-2 to Andrew Jones. Whoa, what a fake. And that's going to be hit in the air to right center, dropping for a hit. The throw to second, almost a force play. In fact, Escobar was appealing to the umpire. So Andrew gets a fly ball single to right field. And for Julian Tavares, just joining the ball club, he hadn't gotten anybody out. The bases are loaded. And look at this turn. You know what that turn was like? If you're old enough, you may remember a pitcher named Johnny Sane. And that's the way Sane held a runner on at second. Haven't seen anybody do that since Sane left. And among other things, he pitched for the Braves. And hold everything now. Roger McDowell has gone out to talk to Tavares. With the bases loaded, nobody out, 9-1 Braves in the 9th. Oh, sure you remember Sane. If you don't remember Sane, you may remember the baseball expression in Boston. Spawn and Sane and 2 days of rain. Yeah, that was Johnny Sane, who among other things was a pitching coach for the Braves. Anyway, we're just kind of chewing the fat here with the bases loaded and nobody out. Braves 9, Dodgers 1. Mike Gonzalez gets up down in the Atlanta bullpen, and here's Nomar. Struck out, popped up, flied out. 7 grand slams in his career. And that got away from McCann, but down by 8, the Dodgers are not about to gamble. Delwin started to come, and they're held up. Last thing the Dodgers want to do is to give up a precious out at the plate. So McCann is having a very tough time. First time I'm sure he has ever caught Tavares. McDowell's been on the phone to the pen. Fastball, slow roller to short. They get one. Johnson flips it on a bounce, throws it away, and the second run is heading to the plate to score. So it's 9-3 Atlanta. They get an out at second base, but that's all they get. So Garcia-Parra hits into a force play, 6-4. Loney scoring on the throwing error. Young came in on the force play. So 2 runs are in it. Braves lead is 9-3, and the batter is Blake DeWitt. So here's DeWitt, walked, singled, hit back to the box. Tavares finally getting an out here. And ball 1. DeWitt hitting .267. That's a strike. 1-1 the count. Out on deck to bat for Corey Wade, Angel Baroa. They're not going to hold Garcia-Parra with a 6-run lead and a left-hand hitter up there. 1 ball, 1 strike. Braves had 3 in the 5th, 3 in the 6th, 1 in the 8th, 2 more in the 9th. That's a strike. 1 and 2. Two and 2. In the inning, Young walked. Loney single to right. Jones single to right center to load the bases. Garcia-Parra hit into a force play to score a run. The second run came in on the throwing error. And Nomar at first, 1 away. 2 and 2 to Blake DeWitt. Ball 3. "35-year-old Julian Tavares." Almost threw that to the backstop. So when Tavares walked the first man with a 9-1 lead, you knew it was going to be a struggle for him. And here comes Bobby. The interesting thing about Bobby Cox, he had his knees replaced, but he is so old school. If you look down to his shoes, you're going to see something that you do not see with most people. Yeah, the usual baseball spikes. He doesn't have to wear those. He could wear the soft cushioned shoes or the ones that they use for AstroTurf, but not Bobby. He wears the spikes. So that'll do it for Tavares. Not exactly a good way to break in with a new club, and we'll be back. Ball 1 to Baroa. Mike is another veteran. He's 30 years old, born in Corpus Christi, Texas, lives in Pasadena, Texas. Originally drafted by the Pirates in 1997, and he's 2-0 to Baroa. Gonzalez, and this is not a save situation, but he has converted each of his last 32 save opportunities. That's in there. That's the longest current streak of its kind in the major leagues. He hasn't blown a save in more than 4 years, and he was just a middle reliever in his 30th game when he had one get away. Gonzalez came off the DL. He had Tommy John surgery a year ago. 6'2" and 220. 3-1 to Baroa. 3-2. Angel hitting 197. Up there with Garcia-Parra at second, DeWitt at first, and 1 out. 9 runs, 12 hits for the Braves. 3 runs, 7 hits for the Dodgers. And down goes Baroa. So Gonzalez comes in to pick up a strikeout.
Number 27, M.Kotsay.
For Mike, he has not walked anybody, and he has struck out 12. Boy, that's pretty good, huh? Only been in 7 games. Still recovering from Tommy John surgery. And here's Matt Kemp. Struck out 3 times, fly to center, 0 for 4. Breaking ball strike, 0-1. Fastball, change, and slider pretty much. Although if that was a slider, it looked more like a curve. Braves sent Adam LaRoche to Pittsburgh to get Mike Gonzalez. 1-1. Gonzalez had so many physical problems down through the years, and it finally led to Tommy John surgery. Breaking ball miss. He had shoulder surgery, then he had surgery on his left knee. He had pain in his lower back and missed a couple of months. Then he had a brace on the bad knee. Then he had a collateral sprain on the bad knee. Then he had tendonitis in the left elbow. Then finally, he had the Tommy John surgery. So he'd been really beaten up over the years. He had the surgery in June of last year. 3-1 the count to Matt Kemp. Three and two. The sideburns of Mike Gonzalez are really something. Remember how big the sideburns were, if you're old enough, in the 70s? Well, look where we are now. How do you shave them that now? 3-2. Runners go and fouled away. Nine runs, 12 hits for the Braves, 3 runs, 7 hits for the Dodgers. Kemp is the 7th man to come to the plate. Check swing and strike 3. And so for Matt Kemp, he winds up striking out 4 times tonight. Mike Gonzalez comes in and finally gets some outs. And the Dodgers settle for 2 runs on 2 hits and leave a couple. Player of the game? Well, I think that double with the bases loaded by Yunel Escobar back in the 5th inning turned the whole game around. So we'll certainly make him the player of the game, with a tip of the cap for Jurgens, the pitcher who went 6 and picked up the victory. Chad Billingsley suffers the loss, so he's 8-8. 0-2 against the Braves this year. Jurgens is 9-4 and 2-0 against the Dodgers. Braves are trying to come alive now. They are 5 back of Philadelphia. The Dodgers fall out of a tie and are now 1 game back of Arizona. So tomorrow night, a big game with Tim Hudson going